had a gaffer, for the whole team, and then he hasn't rocked up. Last 2 weeks, Lucas Smarrow, you know who you are. You better sleep with one eye open tonight because we're coming for you, mate. You better sleep with one eye open, Lucas Smarrow. You know who you are.
I brought the boys over, and we're all former NPL players. If they really want to sign us, we thought we'd take our talents to futsalers, and
That's exactly right.
it's absolutely fantastic. And the place is an institution, so we thought we might as well. And that's that.
That's exactly right, James. That's it. It's not hard, it's just that we're struggling to find our feet. I think the lack of fitness is really affecting our team. Joining halfway through the season wasn't most ideal, but you know what? We've come across a couple wins, and we're doing decent within the team. There's a lot of politics within the team, and
Round 7 of the men's SFV competition is now live. We appreciate your patience. Some teething technical difficulties. We're on a different court for tonight's instalment. It's a 1-0 victory lead for the Northern Phoenix, who started early. It was Sapina who broke the deadlock. Thornbury now chasing that deficit. Adam Palombi and Ethan Rigg to bring you the second half of this clash. Ethan, welcome to tonight's coverage, and what should be quite the gargantuan evening in terms of the competition this season.
Thank you, Adam. Good evening to you as well. And it absolutely should be this. The first of our newly promoted sides going head-to-head. And Sapina was the flavour of the month in September, and that seems to have transitioned into October as well. It was a super strike from the Spaniard, which is the difference maker. But tonight is the first installation of the Classico. A truly massive rivalry, and tonight a titanic one for Moreland, who have to win to really, really close the gap to Fitzroy to 2 points. If they're unable to beat their foes in Fitzroy colours, however, that gap stretches to 8 with only one Classico to go, so it's a must-win for the reigning champions.
And they have truly well equipped themselves with some star power from New South Wales. They're all getting well immersed as they enter the arena, but focusing on this one here, it's been a very cagey affair. Sapina's difference-making moment, the aspect of it which has given Northern Phoenix the lead, but Thornbury, to their credit, Ethan, have started rather brightly. They've had many attempts on goal, which Tyler Lewis has had to make multiple saves upon.
Tyler Lewis has had a very tidy start to the evening, as has Moe Fatea, as Stellitano takes a tumble. Costa Diamantopoulos is the person in question. Stellitano said he was pulled back just as we were about to get onto the nights that both keepers have had so far. Phoenix have to settle for a corner, but Stellitano was incensed.
And Turvatanasov just had to have a chat with Stellitano to explain why he wasn't awarded the penalty. And the Italian Australian not too proud of the outcome, although he fires it wide of Fatea's goal. Has a chat to Maria on broadcast side, just protesting still. And well, not sure what about, considering Phoenix are in front. They look rather comfortable, although Stellitano's pedestrian. Marrero had a snapshot on goal. And ultimately, were able to come away with the ball. It was Ali who had earned the foul deep inside his half of the court to just keep things calm for those in black.
Not a good sign for Thornbury to give away a foul early in the second half, to have a controversial moment as well. They need to settle into this game because they finished the first half so strongly. It's now about carrying that momentum, but they're allowing Phoenix to wrestle some of it back.
Diamantopoulos receives it back. He's had a couple of nervy moments tonight, perhaps Diamantopoulos, but has also been able to rectify them really well. Each time he is in the forefront of a move for Thornbury, they managed to get attempts on goal like they have there. So we'll have a corner.
Not for the first time tonight. Tyler Lewis makes a rather awkward save, but a very important one. They've been good at getting the ball just to bounce before the keeper this evening and making life difficult for him. It's where they've had their best looks. However, they've given a chance on the break. Zacharias on for Sapina. Fatea makes a fabulous stop, but can't prevent the rebound as Zacharias walks it in, and Phoenix double their lead.
Sweeping move. Thornbury caught out at the back. And as the Phoenix drew around in numbers, got a bit scrambly towards the end, but the result remained the same. And quickly inside the second half, and at start, Phoenix right out the frying pan, and they sizzle into a 2-goal lead.
And it's the perfect remedy for the strong end of the first half that Thornbury had. Phoenix immediately wrestling back the pressure and the momentum, and as they did in the first half, they got themselves a goal on the break, this time end-to-end. Sapina's shot was saved by Fatea, but Zacharias did the right thing in just following him and waiting for the second ball.
Sapina dancing. Ali back for Stellitano. Zacharias. Sapina finding lovely understanding between the two. Zacharias tried to get around Fatea. Stellitano on the edge of the area, and now transition for Thornbury. Rampaging still. It was a fantastic run forward. Lewis had to come off his line. And in the end, it was brilliant from the Lily White in attack, who just couldn't stop his rampage. Dimantopoulos. Play held up nicely. Georgia to receive out wide. It was Jabo. Was really trying to be the difference maker there to pull one back. And we'll take the corner now.
He's looked lively to start this second half, Jabo. They're making things happen for Thornbury when they've had the opportunities. They just still can't find a way through Tyler Lewis at the moment, who, although came out rather robustly, made the all-important save. Marrero tried to thread it for Diamantopoulos. Stellitano picked it up. Stabbed it on for Sapina, who had Zacharias. Tried to roll his way around Georgie, kept it alive, then went beyond one before running out of room. That is just the elegance of Jonathan Sapina at the moment. Somebody who has starred since Phoenix's promotion to Series Futsal. Jackson Georgie has 2. Thornbury skipper on that occasion, however, having one he might want back.
I believe the captain was maybe trying to purchase a corner. Not much cavalry in support with him. And tried to just find the crafty option. Ali has support left and right, went on his own still. Tried something a little bit audacious to get around the backtracking Cameron Anderson. Fatea will roll it short for Georgie.
He speared it down the line.
Anderson just got confined on his own. But they'll still have possession. The side trailing by 2-0.
Powley tried to thread it through, and Lewis had to make the save. Sapina was best placed to pick it up and then danced his way around 2, this time keeping it alive. Had Zacharias on the switch but didn't fancy it. Sapina away from Georgie, has Shemazy up with him. Sapina went to stab it, and it's a beauty. It is a brilliant, brilliant goal. It's a stellar Sapina solo effort. Phoenix treble their lead, and it is yet more magic from their Spanish superstar.
He went on and on and on. Fatea had to come off his line. Nothing in which Thornbury could really have done to prevent that. He received it deep inside his defensive half and went all the way. Didn't he, Sapina? Despite his height, the ball just on a string. He showcases such brilliant dribbling acumen time and time again, the goal scorer. He finds his brace, and the Phoenix are starting to stroll away in this one.
A scintillating goal. Something just truly so sumptuous from Sapina. And he looked like he wanted to be at it again immediately from the kickoff. They won it back. This time recycles it for Brown, who wanted to thread it for Zacharias. Slingsby read it. Brown tried to bustle his way through. Powley met him and was adjudged to have handled it. And Thornbury wanted to take the free kick before realising it was one for Northern Phoenix instead. We've started the second half hot and now have control of a game where the loser would either be level on points or only a point ahead of Hume. For Phoenix at the moment, they go level on points with Pascoe Vale, only behind on goal difference. And with an opportunity to make some more of that up. Sapina, who's on a hat-trick, has an opportunity to get yet another. Sapina's free kick, and Powley had to wear it. Ricocheted all the way back for Tyler Lewis. Took a patient approach, fisted into Brown. It was a good challenge from Slingsby. Anderson
Oh!
got around Shemazy. Lewis came the long way on the slide. And Thornbury will have a corner.
It's done well there, Cameron. Anderson to go on a journey and ultimately score in the end. Or earn the corner that was. And if he had continued his run forward, nearly had the ball just in between Lewis's legs, but decent goalkeeping from the men in blue tonight.
Lewis again involved, and Charles Lavinia this time has poked one under him and in. Phoenix, when playing out, had their pockets picked, and Thornbury have a lifeline. Stroke of fortune for the Lily Whites lands them potentially back in the game. Certainly within 2. And for a side who have struggled more than others to find the net this season, they have themselves underway, but Shemazy's driving and Powley's protecting. Did well just to see it into touch. Give Thornbury a chance to reset. Powley once more. Slingsby. Goal out of nothing. Seems to have ignited the hounds. Powley once more. This time for Charles Lavinia, who was the provider of that goal. Has Brown to beat. Threaded it for Slingsby, who spun away from Shemazy. Zacharias had to make the block the first time and played off Slingsby the second.
Definitely goal bound. Important block defensively by the Phoenix. And that's what Thornbury do. They're a real attitude and emotion-based side. As they try to remount themselves back in the game. I know the next few minutes are pivotal. As Sapina comes away with the ball. Has Powley to try get around Sapina. Onto his left. Where's one to the face? Turf Tanisov says that's a foul.
Thornbury again just needing to be cautious now. They're already on 3. They can ill afford, still so early in this second half, to rack up a couple more because it gets them on the tightest of ropes for the rest of the game, especially when they've been able to wrestle back some momentum.
So Zacharias and Sapina behind the free kick. Players and people starting to mount into the third court here at DCSS. Sapina will have the free kick. He rolls it nicely. Had shape. But a great block from Trust Lavinia.
Had to get in the way as well. Brown was trying to whip that towards Fatea's far post. And Charles Lavinia, as he has done on many an occasion this evening, once again in the right place to throw himself at it. Zacharias has returned. Sapina's poke! That's a lovely save from Fatea. Sharp reflexes to tip it over the bar. Sapina's toe poke was travelling. And it was a tidy tip from the Thornbury stopper. Shemazy's effort deflected off Slingsby, and they'll reload again. Halfway stage of the season, approaching at the end of tonight. Shemazy's deflected effort into Fatea, who wanted to go quickly. That's a lovely ball to find Slingsby, who spun away from Zacharias. Bustle beyond Brown. Anderson had a look. Lewis made a magnificent save. Shemazy not once but twice made a critical block.
And Lewis was very receiving of it. Got around Shemazy instantly after making a double block on the line, mind you. Celebrating his teammate. It's important to score at the other end, but equally as much to defend in your own defensive half. And Shemazy was on a journey there. Zacharias in support. Sapina onto his left. Had Shemazy still, who strikes. But it goes over the crossbar.
And that is how quickly this game goes in transition from back to front. Phoenix, who were under the cosh a minute ago, then had an opportunity and now have a corner to defend.
Trust Lavinia trying to galvanise the troops. In the mid-court, they're starting to win more of the ball. Thornbury, can they make use of it? Slingsby. Powley, first time. Trust Lavinia was lurking. Well read in the end by Anthony Brown. Powley from the side ball. Anderson back to Powley. Trust Lavinia. Tries the give and go, wheels to keep the ball alive, but just runs out of tarmac in the end.
But it's the right idea to try and get some incision and try and get Charles Lavinia on the ball, who has had a really promising last couple of minutes. He seems to be the creative spark for Thornbury at the moment. And to give him that room to roam into is so dangerous. And you can see the uplift at the moment. They've gone for a higher pressure approach. And Phoenix is starting to give the ball away and show a couple of cracks playing out. And it's just giving the Lily Whites an opportunity to perhaps really ram home this momentum.
Shemazy hasn't really looked like he's missed a step so far tonight for the Phoenix. From the side ball, had Elmi. It's been calculated in possession tonight. Sapina for Stellitano, back for Sapina. Stellitano at the line, she couldn't get there in time. Traslovenia does really well to find Anderson. And Slingsby denied by a great save from Lewis at the other end. Sapina twisting, turning, still going, is he? Even on the deck, he's trying something. Powley. Slingsby. Shemazy, nice standing challenge. Ball right now really just not being settled. Both sides trading it. And it comes to a possession for the Phoenix on broadcast side.
Both teams really throwing everything at this middle period of the second half. What an important save from Tyler Lewis. It nearly kick-started a counter that gave Phoenix their fourth. Sapina tried to bully his way through in the end and was closed out by Powley, who's done rather well up against him so far this evening. However, when Powley comes to take a breather, as he has done, is where they've struggled to contain Sapina, and that's also brought Stellitano into it as well.
Oh, a miscommunication at the back. And Traslovenia nearly spoiled that party for the Phoenix. Lewis a bit unnerved perhaps and throws it right out of play, but Marrero never gave up on a loose ball.
It's wonderfully done by Marrero to apply the pressure, and that's how they got themselves that goal back into the game. So when Thornbury press high, Phoenix sometimes are error prone.
Shemazy, Stellitano had time initially. Serpina inside the D. Deflects off the shoulder of Fatea. Powley with a nervous ask for the time. Still ample. Well, minutes left in the game for Thornbury to turn things around. Elmi earns a corner.
They still have well over half of, they have a quarter of the game at the moment, Thornbury, to get themselves 2 goals. The key is going to be timing that high press well, because when they do it and Phoenix are playing out, it's where they've created their best opportunities. Traslovenia missed another big chance at the other end to get them within 1. So the opportunities are there for the Lily Whites. It's just about taking them.
Stellitano with a very deep side ball. Short for Lewis. Went long for Sapina, but out of play.
And that's what that high press does. It forces Phoenix to go again and have to rethink the way that they want to play out. And you see they're less comfortable going long by foot than by hand. And that's where Thornbury now can start to take momentum and take control of this game. If they limit the opportunities for Phoenix to play short and force Tyler Lewis by foot to go longer, then there is every opportunity that they start to just pick off those balls and play with a much more defined high press and are able to box Phoenix in.
No Lee or Trin this evening. Dama Georgie to utilise on the bench. Still have ample numbers though. Although it was tipped throughout the week that Northern Phoenix go into tonight's game a bit undemand, they still have quite the plethora of substitutions to utilise. Perhaps all smoke and mirrors coming into an SFV clash in which has really showcased, well, quite the battle between two sides who went up against each other in the championship. Upon their maiden return, Phoenix with the advantage so far. Helmy looks to go long. It's a nice idea, well read by Georgie. Slingsby got his shot away. Had elevation, but just too much of it in the end. And Lewis will settle for a goalkeeper possession. Gulak trying to hold things up. Slingsby trying to go very direct for Jabo. Gulak. Elmi. Herrero just cutting the pass off before the big man could get there in Gulak. Jabo. Marrero was the target. Slingsby's pass with too much on it. And ultimately, Phoenix back with possession.
It's not the worst idea to try and break Phoenix down. He had Georgie on the switch, and you see once again, when they try and play out, the Thornbury high press is making that incredibly difficult, forcing them to go longer. And because they've got Sharbo and Slingsby happy to sit deeper, it's then allowing them to win that ball back and to start to dictate the next phase of play. The one thing they still have to be careful on, that's 4 fouls now for Thornbury in this second half. There's still a lot of time left, and they have to keep themselves well-tempered. And they nearly committed a fifth. Slingsby, Georgie drilled it. Another awkward one for Tyler Lewis, who was able to pick it up cleanly in the end, make that look easier than it was. Again, a giveaway playing out. Marrero couldn't recycle it. Gluak. Phoenix really struggling. Georgie wanting to drive and winning a free kick.
You can see Thornbury really sensing an opportunity here. Georgie's gone. Well, a triple substitution. Powley, Anderson, Traslovenia, all on the court. And Slingsby knows how to strike. Opportunity this here is Slingsby! Has it slipped through? And the Lily Whites are well and truly back in this game now.
Took a deflection on its way as well, which wrong-footed Tyler Lewis. It's a brilliantly low-driven hit from Slingsby. It's hit with pace and precision. And it's forced Northern Phoenix into a timeout where merely 5 minutes ago they were in a position of comfort. As Thornbury have clawed themselves within one as we cross to a timeout.
Problems here and there when you got families paying 7, 8, 9 grand. It's not on. But yeah, well, that's exactly right.
Well, for Social League Div 1, we thought this would be all right, but it's a much higher standard than we thought, and we're not quite equipped for it, but we're working on that.
Yeah, we definitely are.
Yeah, we're working on it. We're improving the arsenal, and we'll get there. We'll get there day by day. We'll adjust.
Unfinished business.
2 words. Disappointment. But there's room for improvement, and that's it, man. That's it.
Well, that's exactly right.
Signing off.
Signing off. James Daniel, starting captain, striker.
Yeah, and send hate to Alex Beckers and Lucas Maraha.
We return from timeout in a game that has been tense from the off, and where Northern Phoenix look like they might be soaring away, and soaring away from some peril as well. Thornbury have dragged themselves, kicking and screaming, back into this game. Traslovenia picked off an error, and Slingsby, who got the most recent, is in again. Anderson was arriving, and a massive intervention gives Thornbury a corner. Elmi had to get a foot across, otherwise they could have been in for an equaliser. Corner taken quickly, off Stellitano to Powley. Elmi again on the block. Kluak on for Stellitano. Elmi happy to retreat. Traslovenia wants to come on the high press. Tried to be intricate. Slingsby's touch was heavy. Invited Kluak, then Stellitano to try and win it off him. Stellitano did in the end, and his footwork was tidy to get out of a tangle. Elmi, Ali. Back to Elmi. Now Stellitano tried to shift it for Kluak, given away to Anderson. who had room to run into. Slingsby gave it him back, and Gluak bundled him over to give away a free kick and get himself a yellow card.
And here we go. Thornbury really sensing the opportunity. They have gotten Phoenix on the ropes in terms of the ascendancy. And they scored from their most previous free kick scenario. What can they conjure up here? Those in black and aqua just a bit rattled right now. Those in lily white sensing the moment to get back on level terms for the first time since the match started. Powley drills it and he scores! A massive roar from the Thornbury bench, and we're back on level terms here.
Terrific free kick. The wall positioned, didn't do its job. Tyler Lewis's near post left exposed, and Powley pierced it to perfection. A simply sizzling strike, and they're on the move again. Anderson, Slingsby, Troslavenia, what a block by Zacharias, who had to get himself in the way. Otherwise, they would have gone back to front, and now they've given away their 5th foul. Unbelievable how quickly it changes.
Take a breath. Thornbury really sensing, and in fact had sensed the moment which got this ball game back on level playing terms. But in doing so, they've just now conceded 5 fouls. Subpoena's clutching at his midsection, hence Pally ran off him. Anderson has Truslavenia still going. Summer Anderson, he goes down. Stellatano, perhaps very fortunate right now, Ethan.
Thornbury bench weren't best pleased about that. Anderson might consider himself unlucky. Stellatano, who's now involved once more. Troslavenia on the slip. What a moment that could be. It could have given them a golden opportunity. Instead, Sapina has one at the other end. Slingsby cut it out. Cleared only as far as Elmy, who gave it back to Sapina. Elmy will have a go. He fired it high and over.
The intensity really amping up in here. Thornbury winning the ball a lot in their attacking third. Anderson not sure where to go. Elmy going for a stroll at the other end. Has Sapina on for the pass, but his shot just was never caught sweetly as it lofts over the crossbar.
Always falling away on that one, Jonathan Sapina, as he tried to wrap it. Another let off for Thornbury. Oh, Stellatano, that's a lovely touch from Elmy. Back for Stellatano. He's got Loretta to drive at. Sapina held off Powley this time. Elmy. Smashing ball, and Fatea read it well. Got an all-important punch. Dropped back for Loretta by Anderson, who placed it behind Powley, who thankfully, for his sake, hadn't advanced too far. Anderson. Touched it on for Loretta. Troslavenia had to hold off his run. He is now found. Powley. Down the line for Loretta, who wants to work a yard on Elmy. Anderson. Speared it for Troslavenia. This is lovely futsal from Thornbury. Troslavenia not around Sapina, who now wants to go the other way. Troslavenia had a slide, as did Loretta. And Phoenix will get a look.
It's a smashing ball from Anderson. Mind the original pass for Phoenix when they went and attacked forward, where Elmy tried to find Stellatano, but Anderson with the reverse lateral diag to pick out Troslavenia. Sapina feeling it, has the ball in hand, and well, a dead ball opportunity. Thornbury really lifted, but the 5 fouls has just come back to haunt them, as Northern Phoenix have an opportunity to reinstate a lead.
A game of fine moments. Could that perhaps be the finest? Still 7 minutes to go. But Thornbury already showing that the tightrope might be too tight. And Sapina, who's hat-trick hunting, can complete it and reinstate Phoenix's lead, having been 3 up, having then thrown it away and nearly been on the brink. One kick of the ball, and an important one. Sapina scores with certainty. with poise, with precision and finesse, rounding out his hat-trick and giving Phoenix the lead back.
Emphatic. Nothing no goalkeeper could do about that. Fataya has looked to himself and he knows that nothing he could have done would have stopped that. And it might not be deserved. The ball's miraculously just found its way into the bin. Hence the celebrations from a few around here, but Sapina found that of the top left corner. Josh Fusco reckons he even manages to get the ball into the bin. Not on court, that of Sapina. He's full of party tricks. He's got a hat-trick. And Ethan, dare I say, against the run of play. Phoenix back in front.
Certainly so. Thornbury had stolen all of the momentum, but Phoenix are wrestling it back. Marrero, thankfully, got his way out of a bundle. Sapina slowed him up. But this game has ebbed and flowed so often that you still do not know what these final minutes will bring. Both of these teams can ill afford to switch off. You see how quickly it transforms into such a tight context. So although Phoenix have that advantage, they now can't take the foot off the pedal. Elmi to make sure that they don't do that. Face to face with Loretta. Sapina just dropped off for him. Elmi to Stellitano, who breezed away from Sharbo, and Fataya made a good save down low. Marrero rolled it back for Pauli. That's a tidy ball into Sharbo, who has Marrero up with him. Around Elmi, rolled it for Loretta. Sharbo, brilliant block again from Elmi. Lewis was in no man's land. Stellitano the other way, too heavy for Sapina. And where Phoenix were looking to charge, it just broke down. Marrero, back for Pauli. Oh, we did well not to foul him. Thornbury one-hand ball, and they will get it. Off Zacharias' arm, inside the area, and the Lily Whites have a penalty.
No protests at all from those from the Phoenix. Pretty day and night. And now at the other end, Thornbury have their opportunity to put this seesawing contest back in their favour. A deep breath from Pauli. One-on-one against Tyler Lewis. Tense moments in this match's complexion. Pauli from the spot. Puts Thornbury back on level terms. It's 4 apiece. 6 minutes left on the clock. An instant classic starting to brew in Darebin.
Certainly is, and it's everything you would want from Pauli. It's a brilliantly taken penalty. Drilled low, drilled hard, and there's nothing that Tyler Lewis can do about it. Went the right side just to whip it inside the post. And it gets Thornbury back on terms, and all of a sudden, they look to go again. Elmi got an important foot. Sharbo around Stellitano. Nearly away from Shemezi. Rolls out for Pauli, and Stellitano again had to get himself in the way.
And that's where, dare I say, Pauli might have needed the right foot. It was begging for attention to be wrapped first time towards the top right corner. And for his left instead, which allowed for the block to be applied from the Northern Phoenix. But right now, once they score Thornbury, they really just get themselves up off the canvas and out throwing punches. They've scored from a few set pieces tonight, but it won't matter. Thornbury were almost down and out. Phoenix was strolling away. They had a 3-goal lead, mind you, Ethan. But right now, they look a little bit worse for wear, especially as time ticks on.
Phoenix really having to stoke the flames for themselves at the moment. They find a way to get ahead once more. 3 ahead. They thought the game was sewn up. They thought they were going level on points with Pasco Vale. Now they're dragged into the mire, but Sapina's round for Taya, who got an all-important touch. And in fact, ricocheted off Sapina as well to reclaim it for Thornbury. Pauli. Marrero, that's a lovely take. Stellitano was in retreat through the legs of Elmi. Sharbo's touch was tidy, and Lewis made an important stop. Loretta was lurking. Speared it quickly for Sapina. who's backed into Paoli once more. Through the legs of Marrero, on for Shimezi, who couldn't thread it for Stellitano. Sapina slows it right down. Had two around him. Threaded it through. Stellitano, lovely. Sapina this time, around for Taya, back for Stellitano. Oh, Shimezi, and Stellitano couldn't turn it in.
And Sapina is struggling out there. He's sore. He looks very gingerly, but he's still managing to go as direct as he can. Tried to pierce through Thornbury like a hot knife through butter to the big number 9. And everybody in support. But right now, Ethan, the fresher legs with those in white.
Sharbo's ball, a loose one, unfortunately. It just, again, gives away an opportunity. Thornbury's rotation in this second half, the big thing, where Phoenix have looked to keep majority of their strongers out. Thornbury have rotated well, and at the moment, those legs are paying dividends. But Stellitano is searching, and that's a brilliant block. What a block from Charles Lavinia, as Shimezi must have been certain he'd scored.
Traslavenia celebrating. He didn't notice that Fateh had his hand out to acknowledge the block, but they managed to keep themselves without a blemish there. Thornbury, it was another great move, well crafted from the Phoenix. 4 minutes left on the clock, 4 goals apiece. Sapina has Almi with his arms out wide, ready to receive the ball. Finally does the number 3. Shimezi was the reverse option. Sapina, central. Trying to back into his direct opponent. Stellitano. Shifting gears. Ball getting stuck. Stellitano shot ricochets off of Anderson. Traslavenia nearly got away. Jarbo, deep breath. Ball goes long. Hits the railing. Georgie might have been there in support. It will be a side ball right in front of us on broadcast side. And the line cord might just have its implications throughout the rest of tonight. It's a little bit lower in the third court here in comparison to the first. So we'll see if that can have its implications as we progress on. Stellitano on the paint of the defensive technical area. Slingsby, Anderson twisting, opportunity for Slingsby! Nearly with a devilish flick inside his own net, the ball. Lewis managed to escape. Georgie Stellitano tussling. As it progresses, Ethan, it could be anybody's. And certainly right now, it's seesawing back into Thornbury's favour.
This game is on a tightrope, and the ground beneath just keeps getting thinner and thinner and thinner. The rope is close to splitting. Both teams, Thornbury already in foul deficit. Phoenix fast approaching it. All tied up. 2 minutes 40. Who wants to win it? Slingsby. Charles Lavinia. Down the line for Georgie, who tried the return. Sapina read it well and is on the charge. Elmi's up with him. Sapina might not need him. Slingsby wants to hold him up. Sapina shifting, twisting, turning, and running out of room. Quickly taken for Charles Lavinia. Thornbury want to get a move on. Slingsby, one-on-one with Almi. Tried to steer it. Stellitano's touch only fell for Charles Lavinia, who had a stab. And Anderson, while lunging towards the floor, couldn't apply a flick. Another, perhaps, heart-in-mouth moment for Tyler Lewis as he watched it trickle wide. Elmi. Phoenix again wanting to play out. Speared for Sapina. Stellitano just operating off him. Sapina slowing it all the way. Stellitano away from Slingsby. Confronted by Georgie. Sapina. Who was clipped and he's hurt. Still trying to find a way to shift through. Slingsby away from Stellitano. 3-on-2. Options both ways. Anderson! Charles Lavinia's turned it wide. What an opportunity. And Lewis isn't wasting any time. On for Stellitano. Spun Slingsby and Sapina wasn't able to make it. But he is moving seriously sorely.
And Sulaiman Mohammed won't take him off. You can see Subpoena. He looks towards Stellitano, who worked superbly well to get the ball across the byline. The number 9 just not able to move. Could almost say that Phoenix are down a player right now without the ball, but on it he makes up for 2, one might say. 90-odd seconds left. There's definitely a goal left in this one. Chemace. His effort blocked by Powley. They'll try again. Subpoena on one leg. Flicks for Stellitano. Off the turn. Slingsby putting his body on the line. Trying to get the ball back was Powley. Phoenix going deeper and deeper. Ali, short for Subpoena. What magic can he conjure up late in this one? Flicking, Stellitano. Has the ball ricochet for Anderson. Slingsby and Powley in support. Traslovenia on the overlap on the far side. Perhaps just getting overzealous. And determined to go forward. Have the move fizzle out. Back on serve, the Phoenix. Lewis goes long. Stellitano the target. Powley heads away. Chemazy had the ball, lost it. Tackle was firm but fair, says Maria. Decent challenge by Chemazy, but it will be Traslovenia's side ball. Last minute. Powley, Anderson off the volley. That could have been something special. Hits the roof instead, and the ball's been stuck up there.
Nearly a moment of magic from Anderson. That would have put Thornbury ahead. Now they have some defending to do. Stellitano got it back off Powley's lunge. Slingsby then stole him. Tried to shift it for Anderson. Ali had 2 around him and was robbed of it. Anderson with options. Slingsby. Troslavinius turned it in. Thornbury on the break have stolen it. Smash and grab inside the final minute. And Phoenix, who were 3 ahead, look like they might have thrown it away.
Thornbury just clawed and scratched and until the very end. Kept themselves in it and got themselves in front, but they're still not having the 3 points locked up yet. The Phoenix straight from kickoff, going coast to coast. It was a brilliant move from United. They have 30 seconds left before a famous victory. And Traslovenia deserving of the goal, Ethan, considering it's been working so hard tonight. Zacharias on court for the last 20. Subpoena nice and deep. Thornbury trying to lock the play inside their offensive half. Stellitano flicking for Subpoena. Fatea came out. Back for Stellitano, who drills it. We're not sure what it is. Fatea's ball. Seconds crucial. Keeper goes long for the corner. Slingsby holds it up. But that will be that. Thornbury, who are trailing by 3 goals at one stage in the second half, score 5 unanswered goals to win by 5 goals to 4 against the Northern Phoenix. The animations from their bench, Ethan, said it all.
An outpouring of emotion for Thornbury, who hadn't won since the opening night. It just lifts them away from trouble. They go within a point of Pascoe Vale, and they do it in dramatic fashion, as they did for their first win in the top flight. What a performance.
It certainly was a fitting performance from a side deserving of the 3 points. And if that's got you all nice and ready for tonight's instalments, the Classico just about to get itself underway. Fitzroy and Moreland entering the court, not too far away for round 7. Your match of the round as we cross to a break.
We're the Champ Hunters Div 1 Tuesdays. We should not be in Div 1, but nevertheless, we lost 8-3 today, but we're missing Alex Beckers. Send him hate. If you know who he is, please send him hate, and that's it.
Well, that's exactly right, James. Going on with that, our gaffer, we've had a gaffer, for the whole team, and then he hasn't rocked up. Last 2 weeks, Lucas Smarra, you know who you are. You better sleep with one eye open tonight because we're coming for you, mate. You better sleep with one eye open, Lucas Smarra. You know who you are.
I brought the boys over. We're all former NPL players. If State League want to sign us, we thought we'd take our talents to Futsalers, and
Well, that's exactly right.
it's absolutely fantastic. And the place is an institution, so we thought we might as well. And that's that.
That's exactly right, James. That's it. It's not hard, it's just that we're struggling to find our feet. I think the lack of fitness is really affecting our team. Joining halfway through the season wasn't most ideal, but you know what? We've come across a couple wins and we're doing decent within the team. There's a lot of politics within the team and problems here and there. When when you got families paying 7, 8, 9 grand, it's not on. But yeah, well, that's exactly right.
Well, for Social League Div 1, we thought this would be all right, but it's a much higher standard than we thought, and we're not quite equipped for it, but we're working on that.
Yeah, we definitely are.
Yeah, we're working on it. We're improving the arsenal, and we'll get there. We'll get there day by day. We'll adjust.
Unfinished business.
It's 2 words. Disappointment, but there's room for improvement, and that's it, man. That's it.
Well, that's exactly right. That's exactly right.
Signing off.
Signing off, James Daniel, starting captain, strikers.
Yeah, and send hate to Alex Beckers and Lucas Smarra.
The first of the new campaign. Every time it rolls around, all eyes are fixed on a rivalry as fierce as it is fantastic. A fixture you looked for before all others when they came out, and one which for half a decade has proved decisive. Fitzroy and Moreland, so storied in series futsal folklore that each encounter warrants its own encyclopedia. In season 1 editions of this calendar year, each footnote merely a foreshadowing of what will follow. Moreland, the incumbent reigning champions, flipped 1 win in 10 to a whole season unbeaten against their Fitzroy foes. A run which helped them to overthrow the Tigers and take their crown. One which Fitzroy are in hot pursuit of reclaiming. 5 clear at the summit and unblemished upon the start of the run-in. Tonight, a win puts them truly out on their own at the top of the table, and Scott Rogan is out on his own on an early break before Kevin Dos Santos came to mop it up. Where 9 points become 6 available with only 2 Classicos, Moreland, to keep up in the race, need to win tonight. For Fitzroy, it would fire them to what they believe is the fulfilment of their destiny. My name's Ethan Rigg, and I'm joined by Adam Palombi for the first Classico of the new campaign. And Adam, whenever they come around, they are truly special.
Well and truly, Ethan. You mark all these games on your calendars, 2 of the nation's best locking horns. And considering how the Blues have had to call in some cavalry from New South Wales to just get them off the canvas this season, they've had a couple of results go against the grain in which they've been on the receiving end of, but in terms of the title and where it's going to go after tonight, they certainly have to get 3 points against the Tigers, who have not put a foot wrong yet.
Yet being the key word. And they're under some early Moreland pressure. Pimenta for Cooper, who had his pocket picked by Robotis. Swidan will let it trickle out of play. Both of these sides coming in fully stacked to the evening. Apostolakis in goal. Cooper, Swidan, who has served his ban, Enrique Pimenta and Dos Santos. Aranu in between the sticks. Robotis, Allen, Cosi Russo and Scott Rogan, who scored twice on international duty for Australia in the most recent Futsal Roos camp. Swidan wanting to dance at Russo. Down the line for Pimenta, who'd ran out of room before trying to place it for Dos Santos.
Both sides just really filling each other out early. A lot of individual matchups to keep your eyes on. Swidan and Scott Rogan. Certainly one of those in which I'll keep a firm glimpse upon. Dos Santos also lurking on court with the MVP of last season, Enrique Pimenta. Moreland's big players, and a night like tonight really need to stand up, and Ahmed Swidan early, just not allowing Allen to make any further inroads on the broadcast side.
Form goes out the window on a night like this, on a game like this, and where Moreland might have stuttered so far to start the season. The gap can still only be 2 if they are to be successful tonight. Robotis' turn for Russo. Inventive, and perhaps the right idea for Gab Zabayos, who takes to the Fitzroy touchline this evening. But it didn't come to fruition. Here's Kevin Dos Santos. Stabbed it back for Cooper, who scored an epic equaliser in the second edition of last campaign with merely seconds to go. Swidan. Dos Santos. Had a go from range, and it stung the palms of Aranu, who only parried it to Russo. Rolled it on for Allen. Wanted an option down the line, but could only clear his lines. Moreland going with the high press early.
Cooper with some physicality early also, considering he'd gotten in the way of Robotis, he'd tangoed with him and blocked him completely to allow for Dos Santos to get his shot on goal. As Enrique Pimenta just has the ball in his hands, ready to get things moving. Of course, recently there's a few Moreland Blues who'd made the trip to Sydney to participate in the NSW Futsal League for Mountain Magic. He accompanied At Abraham and Kevin Dos Santos. That night did the SFV MVP.
A lot of them with Mountain Magic roots. We've had a few New South Welsh players come down as well. Moreland hoping tonight that it will help them turn the tide. Dos Santos had 2 around him. Allen was one, Robotis the other. Slipped it through the legs of Allen, but only found Russo. On for Robotis. Allen happy to recycle. Rogan arriving late. Not beyond Pimenta. who was swarmed by Fitzroy Tigers. Stabbed it back for Cooper, who couldn't quite return it. Him and Pimenta not on the same wavelength to start, and that's already just a couple of nervous moments creeping in for the reigning champions.
2 misplaced passes from 2 of their more finer users. So perhaps some, not jitters, but overexcitement into the grand opportunity that is tonight.
Pimenta tussled with Robotis after he fluffed his clearance. Rogan tried to go round Swidan. Down the line for Allen, who wasn't able to keep it in. Dos Santos did well. Just to close all options, Apostolakis went long, only to his counterpart, who's quick to roll it. Rogan wants to drive. Cooper in retreat. Nobody went to Rogan, who fired fiercely, but over.
Well, the duo of fly-ins, if you will. At least a couple of them, but Robson D'Souza is on the bench as well for the Blues, as is Mickey Baragos and Erkan Barakli. Ibi Habi is the understudy goalkeeper, but Grant Lynch and Greg Giovanelli up out of their seats. Having quite the chat between each other. They're ready to come on. As for the Tigers, have a few players at their arsenal, as they have for the majority of the season. It's as strong as a starting 4 that you might see at any other team. Peluso, Wicket, Nepomuceno, Robotis, well, Jaron, all on the bench. And, of course, Parthamos has just gotten his first match minutes now.
You tried to find him. Swidan cut it out. Dancing with Russo, rolling it back for Dos Santos. Pimenta dropping in. Fitzroy happy to sit deep, allow Moreland to go at them. Dos Santos wants to go at Parthamos. Pimenta quickly on for Cooper, who had a drive low, and Aaron Yu had to sprawl himself down to make the save. An outstretched leg steered it wide. But Moreland are finding their groove in the season's first Classico, and already forcing the Australian international into a couple of early saves. Palm's already been stung, legs already stretched. Cooper clipping for Pimenta, whose volley was caught sweetly but not directed diligently. And instead, will roll out for Russo on a deep side ball. Aaron Yu. Rogan had darted. Yu looked for him, but had too much force. Chances at a premium so far. Moreland wanting to make the most of any look they have from range. And Fitzroy, just for the time being, allowing the Blues to take the game to them.
Of course, the first time these two sides faced off in Season 1 this year. It's only the one goal. It was Enrique Pimenta's finish early in the second half, in which earned the Blues all 3 points on offer. Gone a bit taller as Giovanelli and Grant Lynch enter the court.
Dos Santos. Hustle by Parthamos, him and Pimenta. Got in a bit of a tangle. Rather rare for the two Brazilians, who had to concede possession as a result. Aaron Yu, who again was allowed to drive, tried to rattle it into Russo, but it was too hot to handle.
And as for the match officials in Maria Patricas and an FV Futsal award-winning referee, the recent FV Gala night only a couple of weeks ago now, had taken out the top prize. So in good hands, tonight's match of the round.
Giovanelli cut out a searching ball, rolled it into Dos Santos, who dropped it off for Pimenta. Lynch has just wriggled his way up. Giovanelli worked a yard. Pimenta on the follow-in has belted it in. It's a beauty. A piercing Pimenta rocket, and Moreland lead the Classico with a spark of magic.
He lives and breathes and loves these moments. Does the MVP of Season 1. Goes right to his bench, gets a warm embrace, and to beat Aaron Yu from that distance, you have to have something special up your arsenal. Insert Enrique Pimenta. It's 1-0 to the champions.
Delightful hit from someone who's at it again in this fixture. Enrique Pimenta, the Moreland scorer of more goals this calendar year against their fiercest rivals than anyone else. Adding another to that tally in simply terrific fashion. And Moreland, who had created more chances early, take one of their own and inside 5 minutes have themselves in front. It is for Fitzroy to do.
In consecutive games, Pimenta scores against the Tigers in 2025. Quite the feat.
Rogan. That's a lovely ball to find Parthamos, who wanted to go at Lynch. Parthamos rolled it back for Rogan, who had Peluso down the line, tried to steer it centrally. Cooper cleared, taking no chances, where Apostolakis was coming to claim it. Rogan on the switch for Parthamos. Fitzroy just wanting to turn the screw. Not away from Lynch once more. Rogan, Peluso, who's worked a pocket, and Apostolakis this time the one having to clear with his feet. And the Tigers applying some pressure as they search for an instant equaliser. Christian Peluso, his side ball, what role will he play tonight? Player of explosive talent. Trusted and given already early minutes in the most pivotal of fixtures. As that ball from Rogan had too much pace for Parthamos to divert it goals.
Apostolakis really commanding his goal early. His presence following his return from the European summer has that touch more experience, real futsal knowledge on court at the disposal of the Blues. And speaking of experience and court prowess, Lynch and Giovanelli coming together. They earn a corner for the Blues.
Terrific link up from those two already. Starting to get going, which is a worrying sign for Fitzroy. Grant Lynch did wonderfully well in that passage. Giovanelli, ever so tidy. And Moreland just feel like they have a pep in their step at the moment, keeping Fitzroy firmly under the pressure.
Scott Rogan just telling Gabriel Zabas for a player to move out wide for Aranu following that situation when the ball was deep defensively. Dos Santos and Peluso come together. The number 9 for Fitzroy draws the foul as Dos Santos, the captain, goes onto the bench. Reinstated Ahmed Swedan.
Fitzroy free kick. Instead of loading forward, Rogan had Allen short. Swedan was alert to that. That's a tidy return. Allen's touch was delightful. Peluso chested it for Russo, who had it blocked by Cooper. Peluso then had a drive. Apostolakis came and made the save. Cooper ever so tidily down the line. Lynch with a lovely take and a lovely turn. Giovanelli. Again, Cooper not advanced and wasn't able to meet it.
Grant Lynch. Really enjoy watching him play futsal. I know we say it time and time again, but it's just such a fun player to see on court. So explosive, so physical, so much to offer offensively.
Rogan really trying to go beyond Giovanelli, and Lynch this time on defensive duty steps across and allows Moreland to take the sting out of a Fitzroy surge. Ahmed Swedan wants to go at Russo. This time losing out. Russo did well. Swedan stuck a leg in, poked it only as far as Peluso, who couldn't get beyond Cooper. He has Lynch up with him. Cooper for Lynch! Oh. What a save, Aaron Yu onto the post. Got a toe tip and via the woodwork steered it away from 2-0.
And that is why he's a futsal goalkeeper. Aaron Yu had no right to make a save there. Lynch looked for the bottom corner. It was a brilliant pass from Cooper to just allow Lynch to get his footwork right and apply the finish. The Blues millimetres away from a second.
Nepomuceno's first minutes of the evening. He refines Rogan. Quickly switched for Russo. Rogan once more. Allen. Fitzroy needing to find an opening, and Russo did so. Stung Apostolakis' palms. who then came a long way to clear. Neither keeper finding catching comfy so far. Palms being stung left and right. Nepomuceno. Oh, Cooper slid and slowed him up. Nepomuceno steered it for Russo. Giovanali closed the door. Fitzroy wanted a corner. Instead, Apostolakis resets. Cooper. Giovanali. Stabbed it in for Lynch with a lovely ball. Lynch away from Allen. Swedan's dummy. Giovanali. Lynch. Cooper dropped in. Him and Giovanali just starting to tick over. Cooper pressed by Russo. Back for Giovanali once more. Was in a bit of a cul-de-sac. Found a way out in Cooper. Swedan. Giovanali. Trying to be tidy and only found Allen, who's away from Lynch. On for Nepomuceno, who's twisting and turning and forced backwards. Rogan. Stabbed again for Nepomuceno. Lynch just showing him down the line and doing well in the process. Russo couldn't steer it for Allen.
Got to appreciate how the Blues, withstanding a very heavy Fitzroy press, are looking for that killer pass in behind. Once Swedan had distributed the ball, he made his run real central, well and truly down the court. It's exactly what Fitzroy wanted, to just confine the space and reinstate possession in their offensive half, which they'd managed to. But the champions were able to just sit back and not allow for anything to be too damaging. So from that passage, you can really just get a gauge on how both sides are approaching this game right now.
Allen chops it off for Rogan. Swedan furthest now for Moreland. Giovanali comes to join him. Pimenta read it and picked it off and placed it. Giovanali on for Swedan. It's a brilliant save from you. And he took a tumble as collateral damage from Russo's attempted block 2.
One of the best for all the right reasons. Aaron Yu showcases yet again why he's got himself well and truly up high in the pecking order. The best goalkeepers across the country.
Cooper. Pimenta had to slide. Allen was almost on the march. Swedan, as well in recovery, had to hammer it away. Moreland had a bit of a mix-up, but in the end, were good enough to get out of it. Well, Jarin gave it back to Rogan. Fitzroy still looking to find a way back into the Classico so far. Rogan wanted to drive at Dos Santos, forced back to Nepomuceno, while Jarin dropped in. Just rotating at the moment. Oh, that treble of Tigers. And Pimenta's had his pocket picked by Sakawal Jarin. As Dos Santos was closing and Apostolakis was arriving. Couldn't steer it beyond either, but could win a corner. Sakawal Jarin just having the courage to take that on the turn and drive. Something Fitzroy will want to find, and here he is on the volley. Didn't catch it cleanly the first time, but scores a stunner on the second. It's a super hit from Sakawal Jarin, and it's 1-1.
And to think that, well, he completely fluffed his lines initially, Sakawal Jarin. He has a prop up onto his left, and he finishes well and truly off the volley, deceiving everybody. Apostolakis wrong-footed. Makes up from a bit of a blunder. Does the goal scorer while Jarin. It's one apiece in the Classico.
Just like that it can turn. Moreland, who had been making inroads, all of a sudden find themselves back at square one. And Fitzroy, through a fabulous volley, have earned themselves a leveller. Off an inspired introduction, but here's Cooper. Aaron Yu came! Oh, that is glorious! Adam Cooper with the deftest and most delightful of flicks. And as quickly as they were levelled, Moreland raised themselves again.
Wow. He has the audacity, does Adam Cooper. And that's something you'd usually see him do on a Monday night, playing social league futsal. He's gone and done it. Only on the biggest stage yet again. You run out of words to describe the goal scorer in all of his vintage.
They might have injected Moreland with some metal. Robotis' challenge on Swidan. It was caressed into the far corner. Aaron Ewer passenger. Cooper this time with force. Forces his futsal route teammate into a save. Swidan surrounded by Tigers. Out to Dos Santos. Couldn't thread it away from Allen. Swidan there to recycle. All the way for Apostolakis. Whose clearance only as far as Rogan, who found touch. Swidan from the restart. Cooper got in ahead of Rogan. Swidan. Pimenta. Dos Santos. Moreland taking the sting out of it, perhaps. Cooper. Dos Santos. Robotis pressed high, as did Allen. Cooper, that's a lovely ball. Pimenta got inventive. And Robotis will watch it trickle out.
Although there's been moments tonight where the Blues and perhaps Cooper has looked lackadaisical. Bit of flamboyance also coming into the mix in his decision-making tonight. You've seen him try a bit more of the flair attempts on both passes and shots on goal. To change it up tonight perhaps is the man who's in on the goal scoring at the moment for the champions. But right now, Ethan, bit of a stalemate in this one. It's ebbed and flowed. There's been moments of magic from all sets of players, but as a collective unit, both sides just at the minute relying on moments of superlatives, you could say. There's so much tension, there's so much pressure on the ball as they both look to venture forward and try and make things happen in their respective attacking ends.
And Fitzroy now need to take the initiative on that again. That lovely lob from Aaron Yu. Wicket stake was wondrous while Jarin couldn't get the flick. Lynch fortuitously had it fall to him at the second attempt, and on that occasion cleared his lines.
Pinballing everywhere, that ball. Grant Lynch had no idea where it'd gone while Jarin nipping at the heels. It's great distribution from Aaron Yu to find Wicket, who charged. And Fitzroy just at the moment wanting you to press further up the court. Try to find a loose play. Robotis is well acquainted with the sticks. Can they work it towards him?
Rogan's side ball. You retreating a little bit this time, while Jarin had a loose touch, invited Pimenta, who then picked Wicket's pocket for good measure as well. Pimenta hustled by while Jarin did wonderfully to get it to Giovanali. Dropped it back for the reigning MVP. Enrique Pimenta, just ever so dazzling, and that one maybe not as much. Give it away to Robotis, who rolled it wide via a ricochet, and Fitzroy have a corner.
There's one thing to look nonchalant, and there's one thing to have no one around you to play the pass to, and Pimenta wasn't looking at his direct teammate, and he's almost given a gift for Robotis, who had to be shut down quickly.
Wicket's corner while Jarin's turning and spearing. Apostolakis made the save. Lynch has got runners either side. Pimenta was one, but it was placed too heavily ahead of him.
Fitzroy impressively quick to backtrack in time. And Lynch had options left and right. He wasn't too sure rather which one to use. And in the end, the backtrack was successful. The move was overplayed.
Those fine moments often define games like this. It's been moments of absolute euphoria which have given the goals right now. Robotis, not beyond Giovanali, who quickly came across. Parthamos. Rogan got it back via a double deflection. One off Pimenta, then off Giovanali. Rogan once more now has Dos Santos to drive at. Parthamos just holding the width for the time being. And here is Elias Parthamos. Within range, shut down by Pimenta. Wicket, back for Parthamos, and Dos Santos in the nick of time got across the block.
Parthamos is quick, but Dos Santos had to be quicker to block the cannon from firing true. At the corner for the Tigers. They're building, they're looking for that equaliser.
Rogan chopped it off for Parthamos. Fitzroy really wanting to turn the screw. Parthamos' drill! And he wasn't far away, just wide of Apostolakis' post. And that's where they could create problems. The second they get a look from range, Fitzroy quick to fire. Moreland, on that occasion, perhaps fortunate. Dos Santos, Pimenta. Oh, lovely. Kevin Dos Santos went the chip, and Aaron Yu was alert to it to make the save.
Hold-up play's been impressive from the Blues. So you can really tell they work on handball to get around Darren New with a chip. It's very audacious. Many have tried. Couldn't confirm if many have succeeded, but that was all Mitch Pimenta. Once he'd rolled the ball for Dos Santos. Could the captain apply?
Yu has found Robotis with a terrific lob. Russo's on the cutback. Just can't quite catch it sweetly to steer it into the far corner. Perhaps might have been off-put by a diving Dos Santos as well. Pimenta placed it for Lynch, who kept it alive. Backed into Rogan. All the way home for Pimenta. Switched it for Giovanali. Moreland starting to take control a touch. Lynch away from Rogan. Pimenta trying to spear it for Giovanali, but with too much guile.
He's not happy, Pimenta, with himself. You can see a massive scream of ay, 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 to quote the number 17, but well, he's getting a lot of the ball. He's using it okay, but there's been moments where they have seemed to just let him down. Oh, he's scored a brilliant goal. It's just stopping him from being the best player at the moment on the court. It's a few lackluster passes, like the one we just saw.
Kevin Dos Santos to drive Moreland forward once more. Pimenta around Robotis, dancing at Russo. Robotis came and won it wonderfully. Dos Santos then did too. Pimenta's back on his feet and around Rogan and forced you into a parry. Lynch's following is blocked and Moreland have a corner thanks to some brilliant keeping and some Cozzy Russo robustness.
Sakos very happy with his side's aggression to really test Darren New despite it not being too conventional. Inside the D and well, to manufacture a corner. A very good outcome for the champions.
Pimenta's take went with loft, too much loft for Lynch, who had gone round the back but wasn't able to be found. Around 5 minutes to half time in the first Classico of the season. And currently it's being painted blue. But as we know, this game is never over until the final whistle. And even then, the moments of drama don't cease at all. Moreland slenderly ahead. Neither team issuing a timeout thus far. As we enter the final bit of the first half, and Parthamos wasn't far away from picking out the top corner.
From this angle, certainly. Looks like it was testing of Apostolakis' top left corner. And in terms of the on-court prowess for the Blues, Giovanali really looking like he hasn't missed a beat. Has possession now and has dictated the play nicely for the Blues.
Lynch with a lovely turn, and Grant Lynch spun Russo and applied a 2-goal buffer. It was luscious. It was absolutely delightful, and the finish was cool and composed. Grant Lynch grins as Moreland stretch their legs and Fitzroy want timeout. A 2-goal buffer for the reigning champions in the first edition. Moreland lead 3-1.
We're the Champ Hunters Div 1 Tuesdays. We should not be in Div 1, but nevertheless, we lost 8-3 today, but we're missing Alex Beckers. Send him hate. If you know who he is, please send him hate, and that's it.
Well, that's exactly right, James. Going on with that. Our gaffer, we've had a gaffer, for the whole team, and then he hasn't rocked up. Last 2 weeks, Lucas Smarra, you know who you are. You better sleep with one eye open tonight because we're coming for you, mate. You better sleep with one eye open, Lucas Smarra. You know who you are.
I brought the boys over, and we're all former NPL players. if State League want to sign us, but yeah, no, we thought we'd take our talents to futsalers, and
Well, that's exactly right.
it's absolutely fantastic. And the place is an institution, so we thought we might as well. And that's that.
That's exactly right, James. That's it. It's not hard, it's just that we're struggling to find our feet. I think the lack of fitness is really affecting our team. Joining halfway through the season wasn't most ideal, but you know what? We've come across a couple wins and we're doing decent within the team. You know, there's a lot of politics within the team and problems here and there. And you know, when you got families paying 7, 8, 9 grand, it's not on. But yeah, well, that's exactly right.
Well, you know, for Social League Div 1, we thought this would be all right, but it's a much higher standard than we thought, and we're not quite equipped for it, but we're working on that.
Yeah, we definitely are.
Yeah, we're working on it. We're improving the arsenal, and we'll get there.
For the first time in the Classico, Moreland have been able to stretch their legs. Fitzroy, who had found themselves a leveller, now find themselves needing 2 to get back to the same place. And so far, the Blues have certainly made the big occasion count.
At the minute, Fitzroy just looking a little bit unsure. Personified in Aaron New's long searching ball there. The Blues, on the other hand, just being calculated. They've found the provocative passes and the finishing touches from Grant Lynch and Pimenta and Cooper have all proved to be the difference so far. No Jimmy Soufis and no Pep Jose Filio either. So on a big match like tonight, Pep couldn't reacquaint against his former employer. And Jimmy Soufis just not able to be in the building and give his Tigers a bit more of a push.
Allen's effort, one that he might want back so far. 4 minutes to half time, and Moreland are truly in the mood. And Dos Santos is driving at Russo. Tried to thread it for Lynch. Russo did well to read it. Allen on for Rogan. Not around Giovanni, who certainly has had a superb first half. He's controlled the tempo very well. Fits seamlessly into the Moreland system, as he so often does. That ball from Allen, a little loose and unable to find Parthamos. Giovanni, who got it back from Lynch, gave it on to Cooper. Dos Santos. Cooper once more. Giovanni threaded it for Lynch, who nearly had a slip, got away from Allen. Giovanni, these two really controlling proceedings at the moment. Cooper. Dos Santos wanted it momentarily and then had the door shut. Now he's dropped off to find a yard. Rolled it on for Lynch, who's holding it, rolling it. Cooper can't get away from Rogan to within firing range. Giovanni tried to thread it. Russo again read it. And Parthamos is going the other way. Fitzroy won a foul. 2 have stopped, 2 have kept going. Rogan is one of whom. Russo's made the dart on the slide. Apostolakis sprawled. Giovanni mopped up, and then Dos Santos was nearly sold short. Cooper clipped it to him once more. He's surrounded by Tigers. Dos Santos driving his way out of trouble delightfully. On to Lynch.
Oh.
And Moreland have a free kick.
And instantly, Cosi Russo went straight towards the official. He's protesting. There was a couple of scenarios there, perhaps with a sniper. Felt hard done by. Oh my word! Adam Cooper's completely caught Aaron New in no man's land from inside his own half. And from nothing, the champions lead by 3 goals. A huge calamity from the Tigers there.
An absolute howler for Fitzroy, who switched off. Protesting the number of fouls, Adam Cooper got on with it and crashed it in. They all switched off. Aaron New, unaware of the free kick being taken as quickly as it was. No one there to provide a block. And Moreland are marching away. Fitzroy now in desperate need of an avenue back in, and in desperate need of some reconciled concentration, as Cooper got inventive and picked all of their pockets to get his second of the night, and all of a sudden to have Moreland in a commanding position. Nepomuceno's trying to change that. Rogan, Russo, Rogan again. On for Allen. Russo, lovely steer. Nepomuceno Blocked by Giovanni. Allen in ahead of Cooper. Wow. Again Giovanni. Gallant in his retreat. Cooper. Giovanni, who had Dos Santos and just diligently dinked it out for Lynch. Dos Santos, Moreland slow it down. Cooper. Giovanni. Dos Santos once more. Cooper. What a half we've witnessed from the reigning champions, who have had their critics so far this season and at the moment are answering them.
There's almost a complete silence in the arena. And that's exactly what the Blues have done in the opening 20-odd minutes of stop clock futsal. Fitzroy haven't really ignited yet in this one. And all considered, they've got a full half to try to turn the tide in their favour, but it's really going to test their character. As Russo just comes together with KDS. And the captain gets a foul, although Milton Sakos issues a timeout. He's looking rather, let's say, impressed with his troops and satisfied with what he's seeing, as Ethan, it's been quite the half for the side in front by 3 goals.
Moreland have had a marvellous start to the Classico. Milton Sakos rallying them once more. And when we come back from a timeout, not only do they lead 4-1, but they'll have a free kick too.
Get there day by day, we'll adjust.
Unfinished business.
It's 2 words. Disappointment. But there's room for improvement, and that's it, man. That's it.
Well, that's exactly right. That's exactly right.
Signing off.
Signing off. James Daniel starting captain, striker.
Yeah, and send hate to Alex Beckers and Lucas Mara.
We return from timeout. A matter of moments before half-time, and Adam Cooper has decided on a night like this that he's within range. Already scored one of the spectacular. He's lining up for a hat-trick.
He's kicked the signage completely out the way. He's got the tarmac lined up for him. What can he do from here?
It will be Adam Cooper who went low. You made the save. Alan cut it out. Nepomuceno. It was a fraction behind Russo, who then skipped Cooper through the legs of Pimenta, but not for an arriving Alan.
Kazi Russo just turning things on late in this first half. He got some cheers from those in attendance. Bit of razzle-dazzle from the sniper, and need a lot more of that in the second half if the Tigers are to turn things around.
Postelakis was searching for Sweden. Robson D'Souza's first minutes of the evening as well. Going to be a short, sharp burst. Final minute to half-time. Fitzroy, at the moment, have been well and truly shell-shocked by Moreland so far. The Tigers in need of finding their teeth. And with some haste. Rogan, not away from Sweden after he got around D'Souza. Allen gave it back to him. Rogan on for Allen, stabbed it for Nepomuceno. Russo pulls one back. Immediately well worked. And Cosimo Russo, with the late run, rolls in.
It's well crafted from the Tigers. Once D'Souza and Sweden had committed forward, left the Blues open at the back. And the Tigers swarmed in a pack. And Cosi Russo was there at the pivotal moment to slide the ball in and reduce the deficit. It's only a 2-goal buffer, which the Blues will have heading into half-time. But all considered, Ethan, not the best time to concede.
And they might be on for more. Nepomuceno on the spin. Wasn't a million miles away from taking one more for the road and making it all rather interesting. Postelakis happy to see it flash wide. Moreland wanting to soak down the seconds. Pimenta, Sweden. D'Souza the only forward. The Blues tick down the time, and they will hold an advantage going into half-time of the first Classico. Moreland, so far, have been marvellous. Fitzroy got quite a fright, and half-time, it's Moreland 4, Fitzroy 2.
Well done.
We're the Champ Hunters Div 1 Tuesdays. We should not be in Div 1, but nevertheless, we lost 8-3 today, but we're missing Alex Beckers. Send him hate. If you know who he is, please send him hate, and that's it.
Well, that's exactly right, James. Going on with that, our gaffer, we've had a gaffer, for the whole team, and then he hasn't rocked up. Last 2 weeks, Lucas Smarra, you know who you are. You better sleep with one eye open tonight because we're coming for you, mate. You better sleep with one eye open, Lucas Smarra. You know who you are.
I brought the boys over, and we're all former NPL players. If State League want to sign us, we thought we'd take our talents to futsalers, and
Well, that's exactly right.
it's absolutely fantastic. And the place is an institution, so we thought we might as well. And that's that.
That's exactly right, James. That's it. It's not hard, it's just that we're struggling to find our feet. I think the lack of fitness is really affecting our team. Joining halfway through the season wasn't most ideal, but you know what? We've come across a couple wins, and we're doing decent within the team. There's a lot of politics within the team and problems here and there. When you got families paying 7, 8, 9 grand.
In the first half, full of quality from all on the court. It will boil down to the next 20 minutes of stop clock futsal. The Tigers chasing. We're also having late involvement and claws the margin back to a 2-goal deficit in which they are chasing. Those in yellow get the ball rolling for the second half. The champions need all 3 points on offer. And an early sighter from Scott Rogan has just gifted possession back to the Blues right from the opening kickoff. Pimenta tried his trademark. Ethan Rigg and Adam Palombi on the broadcast tonight. And well, Ethan being in the driver's seat for that opening half. What was it in which really caught your eye on court?
The way the Moreland were able to take control of the game, especially when Lynch and Giovanali were on, it got the best out of Cooper, and when they rotated Dos Santos, Swedan and Pimenta, you then get the burst that all three have to offer, knowing they've got the legs behind. For Fitzroy, they can ill afford to have any more slip-ups like they did for the fourth goal. They need to be switched on for the entire half, otherwise it's going to be a tall order.
From a Fitzroy perspective, you'd expect a lot from Javara Nepomuceno and Josh Allen to the rise in this second half. Had to call upon Aaron New a fair bit. He was in full flight there. The man in pink to palm away to Santos' effort.
It's a top save from Aaron New. Dos Santos thought about pulling the trigger once, twice, and eventually did. So it was a delayed reaction that the keeper would have had to have, and sprung himself into life quickly to tip it over.
Dos Santos, Cooper, comfortable height for Aaron New, who wanted to allow Rogan to go on a journey. Nepomuceno, Allen tries to go around Cooper, in for Rogan! Postelakis with the save. Seamless, really, from Allen to get around his direct opponent. And Rogan was not far away at all from scoring.
And that's much more like it from Fitzroy. That directness, the pace and the movement is something that's seen them have so much success so far this season. And to get that going where they haven't really tonight is a sign that Gab Zeballos' halftime team talk was one to take the pressure off themselves and just play with a lot more freedom.
Swedan wore one from Nepomuceno. Wanted to go quickly and soldier on. Did the blue. Who's just now pacing up and down the broadcast side. Pimenta is central. Nepomuceno had the strength. Ball just rolls out of play. Cooper. Chipping ball. Falls in the chest of Henrique Pimenta, who goes with the acrobatic that we won't forget anytime soon.
What a goal. An absolutely unbelievable bit of improvisation from Henrique Pimenta. Scott Rogan's gone into the book as well. It was a brilliant hit. Just to have it sit up, the takedown, and then the volley, the acrobatic scissor was sublime.
Well then, it's had that tonight, hasn't it, Ethan, where there's been so many scenarios where all on court have gone deep inside their quality to pull out so many acrobatic passages of play. And, well, Pimenta with another for the Blues of acrobatic fashion. I feel like we haven't even scratched the surface yet with what this man's capable of. It is insane from the MVP of last season.
And it's something he won't shy away from either. He's a futsal player with Jogo Bonito running in his veins, and that was a beautiful piece of Brazilian brilliance.
He lines up again. Rogan, of course, in the book. He's been having a lot to say tonight, but all for the wrong reasons. This game well and truly going against the Tigers right now. What can Flash conjure up? His connection with Nepomuceno has just been lagging. And as Rogan tries to find Javaro once more, just wasn't able to, but it's a quick start. Inside the opening 2 minutes of the second half, 5-2 the score. The Blues looking assertive. Human Pasco Val locking horns to round out tonight's proceedings. Big news from the Black Army of course, Fernando de Moraes entering on the administration and managerial position for Hugh midweek. Will be the debut, of course, of Adam Al-Hayek, a former Fitzroy player. And considering the, well, nature of those clashes throughout the years, always fireworks and definitely lot to play for both sides. As Hume continue to just try and get their season up and running. They have a glimpse of the quality of both Northcote Phoenix and Thornbury. They certainly need to find some points where they can. It'll be a test for Pascoe Vale as Swedan. Out came Aranu. Maria in fine position to just acknowledge the handball, which Ahmed Swedan had inadvertently applied.
It's a calculated risk from Aranu to come all the way out as well. Knew that it would be difficult for Swedan to get that ball under control, and it would take something seriously special with the angle closed down that far to beat him from there. Got a little bit lucky with the ricochet off Swedan's arm, but at the moment, with the state of the game for Fitzroy, they need to ride that luck.
Dos Santos. Which way is he going to go? Fakes Allen. Got around Robotis. Dos Santos kept going. The angle got tighter. He might have thought of something special with the Trivella. Looked for the cutback instead and brought himself a corner. Dos Santos fizzed it in. Robotis wanted it gone quickly. And right now, Ethan, the Tigers looking well and truly out of control.
They're frustrated, and I think Scott Rogan embodies that best at the moment. Every little piece of contact is being debated. It's a side who at the moment are not having it go their way for the first time this season, and you can see a lot of that annoyance just starting to build a lot more.
Allen trying to get the ball back. For those in yellow, pressed heavy upon Apostolakis, who went long. Couldn't find a teammate. Now Rogan has a side ball. Nepomuceno. Aaron Hughes found. Robotis was down the line. It was a nice idea from the man in pink, although too much loft. The Blues look to build up with three from the backs. That Dos Santos lurking well and truly wide. Swedan gets around Rogan. He might just go all the way, Ahmed Swedan. He looked for the cutback that wasn't there. And now Josh on at the other end. Has Rogan on for the pass. Coast to coast futsal. And Fitzroy are back in this one.
Brilliantly done on the break from Fitzroy. Allen could have blazed away, but instead went the slide to the back stick. Pimenta dived in early. Rogan diverts it goalwards, and it's off Apostolakis and in. And just as we were saying, that frustration was starting to build. They keep their cool on a defensive play. They get a big stop when Moreland don't take their chance. And up the other end, Rogan, with lightning pace, launches in at the back post to keep the door open and get them within two.
Ahmed Swedan got around Rogan, believe it or not, in the passage, which led before the goal. He'd done so well to get the ball across the face of goal. No one there for the Blues. And on the counter, Josh Allen had done all the hard work. Got in behind Cooper. Fizzed it across the face of goal for Rogan to fire. Well and truly at the back post. For the Tigers to claw themselves back into it, although the Blues just testing it again. The bin's been hit a few times in this end. The bottom left corner of the net just not rippling. That time around for the Blues. Peluso waiting to come on. Rogan, Robotis, trying to build into this game. Nepomuceno. Allen, instrumental in Fitzroy's most recent goal. Rogan, Nepomuceno flicking. Allen now has an opportunity. Robotis with the cutback. Here come the Tigers. Their bench roars. And they're within a one-goal deficit now.
And it's a brilliant goal as well. It's so patiently worked. The one thing that Fitzroy lacked in the first half, they've poured into the second. A real patient possession-based build-up. They picked Moreland apart and in the end drew them out of their shape, which allowed the space in behind to get the goal.
Lynch inside the box. Cooper spears it for Dos Santos. Giovanelli not found. How quick are Fitzroy on the break? Blistering speed. It's all intelligent play from Robotis to just be available for the cutback. And it was a real chess move finish. Allen, it's really come to life in the last 2-3 minutes. Trying to go around Giovanali. Robotis had the flick on at the near post. And Apostolakis had to react. Rogan takes it on. Body's in the way. And it's Fitzroy's turn to try and put the Blues to the sword.
And where Moreland played the game on their terms in the first half, Fitzroy are doing that in the second so far. 2 quick goals, but you can see the tempo has been quickened up, which suits them more.
Peluso juggling, spinning, and setting the ball well and truly up and high and out of play. Ball just flying high, calls for handballs. Not once but twice. How can the Blues now bite down on the gum shield and reply? Cooper. Chipping ball for Lynch. Spins onto his right. Allen had equal measure. The Blues have a corner.
And Allen's got smart to that as this game's gone on. The first time he let Lynch spin and he was able to work an angle to get a shot which he drilled in. Allen now knows that even if he gets spun, he can drop off a yard and just give himself the room to either close the angle or get a block in the way. It's a very smart defensive adjustment.
Robotis holding things up. Wickets arrived! And he finished! For a side who were trailing by 3 goals only 7 minutes ago, find themselves on level terms. It's happened in the Classico, as it did in the Northern Phoenix and Thornbury clash. Round 7 living up to the billing, and Fitzroy have lived up to the comeback expectations. It's 5-all.
And how many times in this fixture have we seen something like this? The momentum swings drastically and dramatically. From 3 goals down and showcasing frustration, Fitzroy now have thrown this game wide open and have stolen the momentum. Now it is up to Moreland to see what they have got. The Tigers have really hit their stride.
The Blues looked good for their money, especially with the goals of quality they had scored. But Fitzroy just having the means necessary to weather the storm. Peluso wheeling to try get there. Cooper comes across. Giovanali in the way. 3 unanswered goals. Scored by Fitzroy. Robotis central, holding things up. KDS all tangoing. Play resuming. Robotis sent into the stands, and now away goes Giovanali. Has the cavalry. Lynch for Cooper, who had to go for power. He had the angle up against him.
Had to go and try and drive it into the top corner. That touch from Lynch is delightful. Just lays it into Cooper's path. Basically says, go on, smash it. It invites him to come and have a hit with full force. Adam Cooper obliges, just this time isn't quite able to pick out the top corner.
DeSantos there with Scott Rogan. 2 captains just getting caught in each other's crosswind. Rogan just tends to his right knee. Now it's for a makeshift pause to the action. The pickle juice coming out, as might be the deep Vicks vapor rub in which Aaron Hughes just inhaled as quick as he could. Of course, flu has been flying around Darebin. Josh Fusco caught with a bit of it midweek, having copped the flu. So perhaps Aaron knew much of the same. Pimenta for Cooper. Lynch. Back for Cooper. Pimenta holding things up to Santos. Aaron Yu with a fine read. Got possession back. Wants Peluso to wheel. Cooper gets acquainted. One of his mates off the court. No prisoners on it. DeSantos, Pimenta, Cooper, no look, Lynch. The Blues trying to find a rhythm. Pimenta fizzing towards Cooper. Rogan with the read. Lynch directs. Pimenta trying to call for some poise, some composure. Can the Blues now find that spark, find something to bring DCSS back to their feet. Cooper flicking to Santos in a phone box. Lynch orchestrating centrally. Pimenta, lateral for Adam Cooper. Stepping inside is Adam Cooper. He gave it a genuine purchase with the hit. Although it just goes over the top of our news crossbar.
And it dips devilishly late as well. Cooper called it sweet. And he got some real knuckle on it. Deceptive as Aaron Yu gave it a jump just to be sure. But Moreland starting to get the game back on their terms by slowing it down and forcing Fitzroy out of their shape.
Strength from Cooper to hold things up. Pimenta as deep as he could for Lynch. Fitzroy in their defensive third. Closing up the shop nicely. Peluso's putting a good shift. Applying forward pressure. Wicket. Well, Jaron is isolated. Only really had that sort of frame of the goal to aim at, which was the near post of Apostolakis, which the keeper covered. Side netting. Cooper. Swadan. Nearing the halfway point of this second half. Cooper advancing. Wicket. Well, Jaron Rogan. Cosy Russo. Greeted by Ahmed Swadan. 2 against 1 here for Moreland. Too deep for Grant Lynch. The pass from Ahmed Swadan. Fitzroy escape. A 1 against 2 scenario.
And it's just the fine moments at the moment that separate these two teams. In the second half, Fitzroy have got them right. They haven't gone for more, and that's another example of it. Lynch is just behind the ball. Russo as well in retreat might have made life difficult, but Swadan had too much force on it.
Parthamos measures for well Jaron. Wasn't sure which way to go once he came up against Enrique Pimenta and lost possession. Grant Lynch. He's been quite the servant tonight for the Blues. Giovanali deeper. Swadan. Russo deflects it back towards Aranu with his head. Now Parthamos has room to roam into. Has Cosy Russo deflecting out for a corner. They're flicking the switch quicker. Fitzroy in this second half.
And you can see the two styles now contrasting one another when the teams exchange possession. Fitzroy go with pace and ferocity. Moreland want to slow it down and play more hold up, build the pressure.
Parthamos from the corner was blocked. And now Lynch trying to go right down the middle. Swadan, the cutback for Giovanali. It falls for Pimenta, but Ethan overplaying it right at the crucial moment, the Blues.
They tried to walk it in when Giovanali perhaps should have had a go. The angle was closed down, but just have a stab. It might ricochet in, it might ricochet back to the oncoming Lynch. That's a huge chance for a Moreland side who haven't had many.
Sliding those moments, Swadan got around 2 Fitzroy shirts. Couldn't get past Parthamos. Well, Jaron, 2 against 2. Russo, Parthamos. Went for well Jaron, but Gabby Zabayos just demanding the cannon to fire.
Brilliantly disguised from Parthamos on that ball. Even though it was a fraction behind, the slide would have put a stop to the shot. It would have taken the sting out. So Parthamos does well, got inventive. It just doesn't come off of Fitzroy, but that's where they're so dangerous, when they press with pace and are able to hit Moreland on the break at the other end.
Would have loved to see in the cannon fire from there. Well and truly in range was Parthamos. Swadan tangoing with, well, Jaron Lynch. Lovely drop of the shoulder. Swadan wanted to play on. And well, Jaron's going to go into the book, but the protest from Ahmed Swadan was wanting play to continue. Not so much for the foul to be called back.
He wanted the advantage, Ahmed Swadan. But the assumption is the play was pulled back so the booking could be issued instead of retrospectively. The Warner might have had a look.
Pimenta tried to disguise. Rogan hasn't got much cavalry. Recycles with well Jaron. Parthamos. Rogan. Russo lurking. In possession. Goes back to Aranu. Rogan, Lynch stepping across. Side ball Fitzroy.
Moreland were appealing for 2-touch there against Aaron in that passage. Falling on deaf ears, but you can feel the emotion and the tension in this building now starting to come to a boil.
Rogan, face to face with Giovanali. Shifts it for Parthamos. Takes a bounce before it reaches him. Onto his right, Parthamos. Lynch through the gates. The ball went from Parthamos towards Rogan. Got it back. Rogan taking the shot on. It's spilt for Giovanali once Apostolakis got his mitts onto it. Rogan will have a side ball deep in Fitzroy's half.
It's been a theme of the night. Keepers have not been able to handle the ball, have gone the parry first with the options around them. When it's come to it sitting deepest, it's been Giovanali and Rogan, two of the best ball users on the court at the moment that you would want to be on there.
The ball might have been rolling for while Jaron let it flick on and fire towards goal. Bit of a stalemate, just starting to settle in. That side's even right now. It's seesawing either way, but no one really yet to grab the game by the horns since Fitzroy had fired back on level terms. It's really about who blinks now. Pimenta. Swadan bundles into Aaron. And while the two just help each other get back up off the tarmac, slight collision. Aaron seems to be okay.
It looked like a nasty one, didn't it? Just the way that Aaron body sort of jerked after the contact. Swadan pulled out at the last second. You saw him attempt to, which would have taken the sting out of it. Thankfully, both are all right.
Rogan, Russo thought about something and then truly special. Giovanali for Pimenta. Nearing the final third of the Classico for round 7. Giovanali. Swadan. Russo cuts off Lynch's intended pass. Swadan tangoing with Rogan. Russo. Parthamos. Rogan back to Parthamos. Tried to take the game on, did the cannon. Flicking centrally. Allen involved. Back towards Rogan. Heavy press from the Blues, just unnerving Fitzroy in that passage.
And it's the first time we've seen them do it in this second half when they go for the high press. And you can see immediately it makes Fitzroy uncomfortable and it causes the error.
Aaron just in time. Russo right in the midfield, or mid-court rather. The ball just going either way. Rogan thought about trying it. Had more time than they might have bargained for.
Had a couple extra yards he could have taken as well. When Rogan goes to strike it again, he just falls away balance-wise a bit, and it's why he slices across the strike, and instead of troubling Apostolakis, it's one which sails quite far wide.
Swadan. Enrique Pimenta. Back for Ahmed Swadan. Always such a tricky customer to try stop. Lynch went deeper for Giovanali. Russo tried the flick. Ball really hot to handle in the engine room. Pimenta. Giovanali, Lynch. Must be said, Ethan, the Blues need to win more than anything. Spencer fired from downtown. A draw's not going to cut it.
A point favours Fitzroy in this scenario. Having already been 5 clear, it maintains that gap with only one opportunity for Moreland to gain points without reply in the other Classico, which is on the final day of the season. So this is one now, these next 6 minutes for Moreland, where they have to throw the kitchen sink at it to get 3 points.
Pimenta, Lynch, lovely control, Giovanali. Not impressed with himself, the number 16, he never caught it sweetly.
And it's half a look. It's a much better from Lynch in the layoff to him. It invites him to go on and hit it. Instead of being one that's hot to handle and he has to turn back, it invites him to go on and drive. And that's why Giovanali's so frustrated. It's the first real clean look he's had this evening.
Rogan. How can Fitzroy manage this very high push-up from the Blues? In fact, they can't. Giovanali for Lynch. His touch is heavy. Rogan has the afterburners to get there. Sweden had to slide. And done so really well. Deft touch from Pimenta. Parthamos with the read. Contest on a knife's edge right now. Parthamos. Stepping inside. Pimenta comes across. Couldn't get around the cannon. MVP into the signage. As Cooper gets it moving. Sweden. Lynch works it nicely. Cooper gets a corner.
How Grant Lynch is able to take that down like that is superb. A great touch, and it kept the move alive.
Such a technically gifted player as Rogan. Thought about trying to perhaps catch off Apostolakis from distance, as Cooper had done at the same end against Aaron Yu. Dos Santos itching to come on inside the last 5. This might just be as big as you're going to get. Lynch, not sure which way he wanted to go. Russo happy to clear. The Blues just starting to grow frustrated. Haven't really been able to get a genuine effort dispatched towards Aaron Yu in some time. From a close proximity. Fitzroy really tucking in. Pimenta wasn't sure which way to go. Dos Santos. Lynch at the back post, but wasn't found.
It's an inventive ball from Dos Santos, though. It is more so for Pimenta to invite him to go acrobatic. It's been a night of goals like that where sparks of brilliance have made the difference.
Cooper trying to get a shot away on his right. Now Russo has the cavalry. 3 against 3. Russo went on his own. Apostolakis was still diving by the time the ball had bounced off the wall. And they do get a corner, Fitzroy, after all the heavy protests. Robotis just trots on. Parthamos had a decent shift. Corner for the Tigers. Allen for Cozzy Russo. Had a frustration really from the sniper. Cooper protesting that Cozzy Russo was delaying the restart. So tempers just starting, as I always do in these clashes, to sizzle as Pimenta combined with Lynch perfectly. And absolutely full bar power to volley. Nice and low as at the other end. He did not move, says Price. Blues following the foul. Move inside their attacking half. Cooper trying to get around the sniper. Cross came in. It's getting very tense at the moment, Ethan.
You can feel it. Under 4 minutes to go. Both teams wanting to throw everything at it to find a winner.
Cooper deflecting. Aaron Yu had to adjust in the nick of time. Just nearly went through his gates. Russo, brilliant ball for Allen. And he can't believe that he's completely missed the ball. There was a devilish bubble right before he could make contact. It was a smashing pass from the sniper. And that could have been the moment.
What a ball that is from Cosimo Russo. Just splits Moreland wide open. And it invites Allen on his left foot as well. It says, go on, just roll it into the corner. Just place it. Don't have to go for too much power. Be precise and wrap this up for us. But it gets an unfortunate bobble for Josh Allen as he's about to hit it. And it lets Moreland off the hook.
Cooper, Pimenta. Dos Santos still has possession somehow with Robotis. Had a fair chunk of his jersey. Swedan with his body. Has it skid away from him. Now Russo has Robotis. Could never get there. He does have possession now. He's had to play a lot to unpack there, Ethan. The ball was well and truly in dispute. It was claims of handball. There was claims of fouls. It was all going on.
Many a Moreland shout for a foul, many a Fitzroy shout for a handball, and in the end, Robotis just ran out of room to close it. But my word, that is how tense this game is at the moment, edging towards its conclusion. Every single breath of air is being contested in Darebin at the moment.
It has been a real suffocating type of contest tonight, but Pimenta has the fly kit on. The Blues know they need the 3 points. And they've issued the fifth man. Looking for the setup, Swedan. 2 minutes and 20 seconds left. Jason Ishak has the timeout in hand. It's a matter of when the ball's going to go out of play. Pimenta, Giovanali. Back for Pimenta. Can they carve Fitzroy open? The Blues trying methodically now. Giovanali, Swedan. Has it just touch out of play. And the timeout will finally be issued. 1:52 left on the clock. Fitzroy are trailing by 3 goals. A quarter back to make it 5-all as we cross to a short timeout break.
Brandon, it's not on. But yeah, well, that's exactly right.
Well, you know, for Social League Div 1, we thought this would be all right, but it's a much higher standard than we thought, and we're not quite equipped for it, but we're working on that.
Yeah, we definitely are.
Yeah, we're working on it. We're improving the arsenal, and we'll get there. We'll get there day by day. We'll adjust.
Unfinished business.
It's 2 words. Disappointment. But there's room for improvement, and that's it, man. That's it.
Well, that's exactly right. That's exactly right.
Signing off.
Signing off, James Daniels, starting captain, striker.
Yeah, and send hate to Alex Beckers and Lucas Mara.
Lots of belief from both benches. The Blues came out straight away. The Tigers strolling to their respective positions. 1:52 seconds left on the clock. The first instalment of the Classico in Season 2 in dispute. 5 goals apiece. The Blues needing a win. No denying that, to arguably keep their title ambitions alive. We know what they've done in recent history when it comes to earning victories late against their most storied rival. Will that be on the cards here tonight? Giovanali, Pimenta has the fly kit on still. Swedan trying to just buy some meterage forward. Giovanali. Dos Santos! Across the face, Pimenta was present, but was behind him the ball.
And it's also just at that awkward height where we can't really go to chest it or head it, and he can't steer it in with his foot. It has to come off a knee or a thigh. It's an uncomfortable finish. And it's another chance that goes begging for Moreland.
Well, what we've seen from Pimenta tonight, it could have been a scorpion. Considering the earlier scissor. Swedan has a glance, sees Pimenta just stroll past him. Nearing the final minute, Cooper and his back turned to goal. Giovanali to Santos. Rogan blocks. Signage goes down. The Blues with a side ball deep. Cooper. Giovanali. Swedan. Cosy Russo nearly had the moment. Pimenta tries to get it back. He does get it back. Swedan. Dos Santos. Giovanali. Can they find that moment? They're so desperately trying to carve out here. Pimenta went for glory all on his own. Giovanali and Allen desperate to not give up the ball between each other. 23 seconds left. Is there one late moment? Cooper, Pimenta, Aaron Yu will go from downtown. Cooper will block off the line. He'll keep it in. No, he won't. 9 seconds left. Postelakis back in between the sticks. The roll of the dice, Ethan, for the Blues might have just been rolled.
That might have been their look. Pimenta in the book as he tried to stop Russo from a quick restart. 9 seconds, it's possible, but it will take something even more special than what we've seen tonight.
Alan Russo. The Blues have 5 seconds. They're going to completely throw everybody forward. Adam Cooper. He's had moments like these before. To Santos. The clock might beat them. They have to get their shot away now. As Fitzroy come back from a 3-goal deficit to end this game on level terms. It had everything. It had scorpions. It had flicks. It had comebacks. It had brilliance written all over it. But these two sides could not be separated in the first edition of the second season's Classico. Your match of the round for round 7 ends. The Moreland Blues 5. Fitzroy FC 5.
We're the Champ Hunters Div 1 Tuesdays. We should not be in Div 1, but nevertheless, we lost 8-3 today, but we're missing Alex Beckers. Send him hate. If you know who he is, please send him hate, and that's it.
Well, that's exactly right, James. Going on with that. Our gaffer, we've had a gaffer, for the whole team, and then he hasn't rocked up. Last 2 weeks, Lucas Smarra, you know who you are. You better sleep with one eye open tonight because we're coming for you, mate. You better sleep with one eye open, Lucas Smarra. You know who you are.
I brought the boys over. We're all former NPL players. If State League want to sign us, yeah, no, we thought we'd take our talents to futsal and
Well, that's exactly right.
it's absolutely fantastic. And the place is an institution, so we thought we might as well. And that's that.
That's exactly right, James. That's it. It's not hard, it's just that we're struggling to find our feet. I think the lack of fitness is really affecting our team. Joining halfway through the season wasn't most ideal, but you know what? We've come across a couple wins and we're doing decent within the team. You know, there's a lot of politics within the team and problems here and there. And you know, when you got families paying 7, 8, 9 grand, it's not on. But yeah, well, that's exactly right.
Well, you know, for Social League Div 1, we thought this would be all right, but it's a much higher standard than we thought, and we're not quite equipped for it, but we're working on that.
Yeah, we definitely are.
Yeah, we're working on it. We're improving the arsenal, and we'll get there. We'll get there day by day. We'll adjust.
Unfinished business.
It's 2 words. Disappointment. But there's room for improvement, and that's it, man. That's it.
Well, that's exactly right. That's exactly right.
We're signing off.
Two foes standing in solidarity together. A minute of silence for, of course, Kenan Luzaj, beloved member of the Albanian footballing community who had passed away recently. Albion and Aidan Chachi were certainly impacted well and truly by that man's life. Our condolences, of course, with the Chachis and the Luzaj family. Hence the minute silence. It's Pascoe Vale up against Hume FC, who have Mo Temmel returning onto the playing court. It's the maiden game for manager Fernando de Moraes, who made the headlines yesterday following his acquisition, following his Western United adventure coming to its complete conclusion under peculiar circumstances. Kirkby has come all the way from Perth. He finally gets his main appearance in SFV this year, having touted to play in the competition back at the National Championships in January. Maurizio Novak returns from international duty following a holiday. Andre Caro is the player of the month. Ethan Rigard and Palami to steer you home for round 7. Ethan, it's difficult right now to really pinpoint who's going to take out this contest with all the narratives leading into it.
It really, really is. There are two teams who are both in desperate need of 3 points, but for alternate reasons. For Hume, it would drag them off the bottom of the table, but for Pascoe Vale, it would push them away from the relegation playoff places and push them back towards where they want to be. As well as that, it would extinguish a frustrating draw against Phoenix a fortnight ago, as well as provide a very emotional win for both Chachi brothers. In what promises to be another entertaining close to a round which has given us absolutely everything. A 5-4, a 5-all, and now the final instalment. Pascoe Vale and Hume, both eager, both hungry to get themselves an all-important 3 points, as at full time in this game, we will have reached the halfway stage of the season already.
It's just flying by. In terms of personnel for the Lions, no Matthias Assumpção, who has been struggling with just getting his body right. He's been in the gym. He's certainly trying to get himself in fine condition to play out this season. He has been rather plagued with injury throughout the calendar year. Subidi Cicek just gets acquainted with Andre Caro. Mazen Abdallah is the captain tonight for the Mighty Lions. Chavinar, Alison Lima and Ferrer all conclude their on-court personnel. Dewey Newen, Kevin Lamb, Kuradate, Lucas Vaz and Jarvis Chin all on the bench. As well as Adam Al-Hayek, who's signed on the dotted line for Pascoe Vale. Abdallah was tested in terms of the Black Army lineup for this evening. Kirkby is the goalkeeper. Mo Temmel, Turkman, Klenaris and Cicek all on court. Meanwhile, the whole team players, Kirkby, had to come across, and look what it means to the man from Perth. Getting up and about, having made his first save.
Always strong to make your first save from your first shot. Kirkby did brilliantly. Came out, made himself look big, and just smothered the angle. A really critical save, as Arn was lurking and Pascoe Vale had worked that move well. Alison Lima with a lovely layback, and it just required a big save from the man out west.
It was impressive for Football Western Australia in their runners-up campaign at the National Championships. It was a really fantastic side. The likes of Tyler Garner spearheading that campaign, and in that tournament where they had overturned a 4-goal deficit to come back and end the game on level terms. They defeated Fitzroy side in the opening game, in which well and truly turned heads, although Alison Lima all on his own could go around Kirkby, not around Klenaris. And Lima thought he'd score before he had.
Terrific defending from Klenaris. Saw that Kirkby was going to come out and close the angle quickly, got himself on the line and then shuffled to adjust with the angle and made sure that there was no way through.
Oh, and Ferrer. testing the post. His effort, well and truly looking for the top left corner. Just grazes off the top end of both the post and the crossbar. But for Demarais and Nico Nadiadis this evening, their bench looks well equipped. Hamza Swade, Yanni Pira, Najat Saheen, Resik Kawuglu, Abdulli Awal, and Ninos Burtrus, all to choose from. The stacked benches, 3 points well and truly in dispute. Hume needing them, as are Pascoe Vale. Nearly on, it's a brilliant flick. It was a roulette from out of Ferrer to find Lima, who had a snapshot. Spitting is Lima, had cut on for the pass. Lima wants to go all on his own, but the doctor, Ethan, well and truly ready to receive anything in that close proximity.
And he's leading Pascoe Vale's early swarm whenever Hume looked to play out. They're being pounced upon by the Lions, who are not afraid to press. Caro and Lima leading it. Ferreira supporting fabulously. That flick was delightful just to play Lima in. And it's that intricacy that Hume haven't been able to handle. And Arndt's now on the break. Options either side of him. Arndt drove alone, wanted Ferreira, and Cicek nearly turned it in at the concession of a corner. Momentarily, nearly flicked it in to his own net, and Hume have a rolling foul as well. Pascoe Vale corner, as they have certainly made a fast start. Caro, Ferreira, hustled. Turkman now putting him under pressure. Ferreira having to retreat. Clearance was botched, and Abdallah made a brilliant save down low. Not happy with Ferreira for clearing and for not playing him back, but Imran Turkman nearly, ever so nearly, turned in to a terrific opportunistic finish.
And Abdallah with the armband on. Of course, no Michael Newen, as we mentioned earlier in the broadcast tonight. Madcat was unsighted, really. The snapshot effort was well done from Turkman to make something from nothing, as Cicek forces the keeper to make a save at the expense of a corner.
Hume having withstood a hot Pascoe Vale start. Now perhaps an opportunity of their own to cause some problems. Abdallah already in the action. A precise parry. Cicek's take. That one more comfy for Mazlan Abdallah to claim. Wanted to go quickly for Caro. Arn and Ferrer the options. Pascoe Vale wanting to keep the same intensity which they started with. You can see Hume have grown in confidence, just stepping on a bit more. Lima, Caro. Arn was the long way round. Ferreira. Caro left it, only for Ubade Cicek to rattle it in. Cicek and Hume accept a gift, and the Black Army belt themselves ahead to make Pascoe Vale pay.
A massive war cry from Ubade Cicek as he finds the net. To his world, a complete and utter amount of confidence. Finally, for Cicek this season. It's been some time, Ethan, since UC7 struck true. Pascoe Vale just very too pedestrian to kickstart this contest. And that's the dagger which Hume finally land to their advantage.
The start to the Demarais here that Hume and certainly Fernando himself would have been hoping for. Black Army one up. A brand new era. And Kevin Lamb's on the charge. Tried to fizz it across. Kirkby did well. Played out for Turkman. Arn was in retreat. Rolled it all the way back for Abdallah, who went with loft. Temel deepest. Hustled by Lima, and happy to see it out. Pascoe Vale looking for a quick reply. Having gifted Hume the lead on a night where Thornbury, one of their relegation rivals, picked up 3 points. As it stands at the moment, it would consign Phoenix to the foot of the table and send Hume into 6th. Saheen back for Temel. Threaded it wonderfully and then got it back. Had options left and right for him. Pascoe Vale wants to press high. Saheen off Caro, was able to keep it.
Nedj Saheen, of course, featuring and a couple of the Team of the Week so far this season. Motemel, glad to see him back on court, the captain. We had heavily rumoured that his playing career was well and truly done. Couldn't keep him away as Awal's also on court. Cardo, player of the month. Lima, Arn. Alison Lima, could have really opened the scoring. Kevin Lamb, Arn. Pascoval just trying to keep possession. Abdallah trying something audacious. And in doing so, just coughs it up.
He's had a rather frustrating start to the evening, Mazen Abdallah, and you can see that once again. He was deeply unhappy with himself for the way that that ball was placed. And Maurizio Novak's prepping a change. Lucas Fath is getting himself ready.
Well, I've seen Scorpions tonight. Lucas Vaz, no stranger. There's something of flamboyance. And here he comes. Robocop on court. Cardo. On. Back for Andre Cardo. Deflecting! And Kirkby had to react. Was dipping viciously.
It's a good tip from Kirkby. Dipping devilishly towards him. Couldn't take the chance. Very tidy goalkeeping.
Temel blocked it. Kirkby claimed it. Saheen. Temel confronted by Lamb. Wasn't sure where to go. The captain trying to turn away. He does just enough to get the ball to Awal. Had the pace to try to get through both Lamb and Vaz. And in fact has earned a side ball, which Kawuglu will take. Saheen bounces off of Lamb's chest. Temel. Awal. Back to Motemel. Chipping ball for the pivot. Vaz. Stepping over. Cardo. Kawuglu defensively sound. Corner for the Mighty Lions.
They've had a succession of corners to start this game, Pascoval, but they haven't been able to make many of the set pieces count. Kakaro perhaps picked somebody out. This is take with Loft. Lamb left it. Vaz met it, and they'll have another. Took a deflection off Kulchuglu. Pascoval will reload once more. Chasing a leveller in Friday's final edition. Lamb this time, all the way out for Caro. On for Arn. Away from Kulchuglu and drilled it wide. Kirkby was sprawled and happy to see it fly past.
Hit with real venom. Along the playing surface from Arn. As Adam Al-Hayek. His first steps on the court for Pascoval. Of course, on the list last season for the Tigers. Saheen. Crashing and banging. Try to bring the ball forward. And it's a stoppage with the side ball. Temel. Saheen. Off his right, the back post was inviting. Kuglu was there. Vaz, nearly for Lamb. Rolls out of play. As Trev Atanasov signals the ball to be that of the Black Armies.
Pascoval not too happy about that. And the way that Hume have set up at the moment has not allowed the Lions to be able to play out as they'd like to. You can see the way that their movement is being shut down has really hindered Pascoval's start to this game and has allowed Hume to settle much quicker. And it leads to pressure moments like the one that led to the opening goal.
Al-Hayek for Vaz. Caro. Kevin Lamb is forced wide. Wasn't really sure where he could go. Had to just cough up play. So Pascoval just being worked really wide at the moment as Chichek, ball one to the nose, has just set himself down on the ground.
And perhaps a bit of claret streaming from the nose of Ubede Chichek, which is why he goes to take a change and hopefully can get himself tended to.
Blood rule. Might as well be. So play stops for a moment. Kirkby finds Turkman. Might not have been the prettiest, but was still effective. Kawuglu. Al Hayek there with him. Gets it for Mazen Abdallah. Imagine showing somebody a couple of years ago from the past a photo of Mazen Abdallah, Adam Al Hayek and Andre Caro all on the same team for the Lions. Not sure many would have believed you, Ethan.
Throwing Kevin Lamb and Michael Newen as well.
Been very, very aggressive with their approach all year round in terms of trying to array players from both Moreland and Fitzroy. Also dabbled in getting some futsal roos down here. As Vaz, lovely first touch. Holds it up for Kevin Lamb. Vaz. Had it for Al Hayek, and you could argue right now, Ethan, Mr. Novak might just have his strongest lineup on court.
Certainly would be a lineup he'd look at. You'd look at this four and say, with what he's got available tonight, it should have the most firepower to get them back into this game. But once again, Hume's setup is very rigid, and it has been reliant on defensive movement and tracking the runners, which has stunted Pascoe Vale's ability themselves to create pockets of space for Al Hayek and for Lamb as well. Vaz has brought in that hold-up element, which we've seen tonight can be so crucial. But right now, the runners are just not getting the space to go off in. Clanaris. Temmel, that's a tidy ball into Swade, who couldn't shift away from Lamb. Swade kept it alive. Kevin Lamb nearly picked his pocket and was pulled down, and Hume will keep it. Fernando Dimirais was a big fan of that from Hamza Swade. Hume at the moment going through what many people would call a new manager bounce. No stranger to it. It's a brilliant phenomenon. It does happen when you inject new coaching influence into a side. And at the moment it's paying dividends for the Black Army. And Pascoe Vale struggling to hit top gear. Vaz. Al Hayek. On for Andre Caro. He wanted to go down the line for Lamb. Temmel was quickly in on that. Got it back from Turkman. Clanaris, Temmel. Away from Lamb. Tried to poke it down the line, but Vaz slid in to good effect.
He looks a bit disgruntled. Does Lucas Vaz? I'm not sure what exactly he's after, but you can sense he's just started to get a bit peeved. Perhaps he wants a bit more fluidity when Pascoe Vale are in possession. He's certainly demanding that from his side on court right now.
With him and Mazen Abdallah showcasing some frustration at varying times this evening. Turkman, Clanaris gave it a crash, but only crashed it into Kevin Lamb. Hume searching for a second. Turkman, Clanaris, it was a touch behind him. And again, Lamb comes across the block. Rather stop-starty.
It's favouring Hume, though, it must be said. Pascoe Vale haven't really been able to get full use out of their flankers. Al Hayek's just getting familiarised with his new employer. Hume are looking regimented and very methodical with their approach.
Dewey Newen also prepping himself for an introduction on the score sheet. A fortnight ago in that draw with Northern Phoenix, and here he is for the first time tonight. Crashed in an absolute corker of a strike. Someone who himself is still finding his feet in his new surroundings. Trying to be part of the pride in the jungle. Here's Al Hayek, Caro, Newen. Back for Vaz, who is pressed by Swade. Trying to slide it for Al Hayek, who appreciates the idea and the effort, even if they ran out of room.
It's a good press in the end, and Hume are happy to get the ball back as Caro. Al Hayek and Turkman has just strolled his way right down the midcourt. Wasn't sure where to go in the end, but Pascoe Vale come away with possession. Al Hayek trying to get himself into this game. Got the shot away, blocks off of Suede as it rolls out of play.
That's where Hume have been so alert in this first half, that defensive pressure and being able to have bodies quickly in and around to make blocks and throw themselves at the ball to close the angles down for Pascoe Vale. It's not allowed them to be intricate, and it's had this real suffocating feeling on the way Maurizio Novak's side have wanted to play so far.
Vaz with the strength to just hold off Clanaris. Carter was on the overlap. Vaz, very focal in the line's approach tonight. Has the number 9, Newen. Vaz, Al Hayek. Ricochets off Clanaris. Vaz, not away from Suede, who didn't realise the board gone out of play.
That's a brilliant challenge from Hamza Suede. Vaz thought that he was going to be able to stream forward, but Suede at the last second gets the slide in, timed it to absolute perfection, and once again, it just slows it all down.
Carter couldn't find Vaz. Temel. How the Black Army looked like a different beast. With Mo Temel in the mix. He just provides so much stability, so much assertiveness defensively. Newen. Lucas Vaz. Carter. Back for Vaz. Turpin with the block. Done well to cut it out. Clanaris just lost his bearings and sent the ball right towards Alan Kolak, who recently celebrated his birthday.
Temel appreciated the effort on that ball from Clanaris as well. Al Hayek into Vaz, who turned terrifically, and Kirkby got down low to make the save. Lucas Vaz starting to spin, and perhaps Pascoe Vale starting to apply some pressure. This side ball with loft for Newen. It's face to face with Clanaris. Dewey Newen drew him. Left it for El Hayek, who was hustled. Caro, and they cannot keep the move going. There is some serious disconnect in the Pascoe Vale build-up at this moment in time. And it's all falling into the hands of Hume. Temel. Back for Nedj Sahin once more, who went spearing over the top. Temel appreciates the idea again. Hume just looking more direct, looking more threatening against the Pascoe Vale side, who are unable to get their own stamp on this game. Abdallah went long for Vaz. Sahin got up. Clanaris nodded it on for Cicek. Arn in retreat did well. All the way back for Abdallah once more. Vaz, that's a lovely flick round the corner. Arn had Caro and nobody else advancing. Slowed it down to Vaz. On for Dewey Newen, who's shifting away and rolled it wide. Easily one of the more direct and one of the more free-flowing moves that Pascoe Vale have been able to come up with in this first half, which is inside its final half. Sahin went too long and Abdallah picked it off, and his throw was intercepted by Cicek, and Clanaris rattled it. Abdallah made the save, and Cicek, who has one nostril packed, was in hot pursuit.
He had what?
One nostril packed.
Right. We resume. Vaz sends it long. Had nowhere to really go. But he had to come off under the cutter. And, well, Ethan, you're not wrong, considering he's just holding that side of his nose in his hand.
Perhaps trying to limit the stream of where the claret came from. Ubede Cicek will be taking some precautions. And here he is now with an opportunity. Lima hustled him. Give back to Kulchuglu. Sahin, Clanaris, who's away from Arn. Sahin. Once again for Kulchuglu. Hume taking their time. Maybe too much of it. Vaz with a challenge. Arn stole in, and Sahin went in. And for that, goes into the book.
Well, it's a real Nedj Sahin type moment, I suppose. Maurizio Novak's got the timeout right in his hand, and I think, Ethan, that's what's going to happen.
Maurizio Novak wants timeout, perhaps for a set play tactical change. But when we come back, Pascoe Vale still have it to do. It's Hume who lead by a goal to nil.
James Daniel starting captain striking.
Yeah, and send hate to Alex Beckers and Lucas Maraha.
Returning from timeout, Pascoe Vale have a free kick in a game which they are chasing. Hume with just under 8 to half time, lead by a goal to nil. Ferreira left it for Lucas Vaz, who rolled it for Alison Lima, cut himself inside, and it's a brilliant block to deny Lima's effort, which was looping. And once again, the Lions will reload. Ferreira, back for Arn. Lucas Vaz. Can they pick their way through? Lima, pressed by Sahin, who has been booked for Vaz, who couldn't clip it beyond Temel. And at the moment, Hume are doing exactly what they've done throughout this half and suffocate Pascoe Vale when they've tried to build out. Abdallah comes to offer some relief. Look long on the diag for Lima. Cicek flicked it on and then had a clash with Ferreira, who seems to have carried on. Lucas Vaz threaded it for Arn. And the ball back was marginally behind him and forced him to retreat. Tried to clip it for Ferreira, but only found Kirkby.
He's been positive so far, Kirkby. It's like a fortified wall around his goal as Lima in frustration puts Cicek to the ground. Pascoe Vale still not able to just find a goal in which they need to get this back on level terms. It's always usually cagey against these two sides. Temel. Cicek nearly to attackers. Both in Vaz and Cicek on the outdoor circuit. Just up against each other. Both defensive and offensive scenario there.
And it's a terrific ball from Temel to find him as well. The way that he's just able to draw a yard and then split the lines to play Cicek in is a thing of beauty, and his touch let him down on that occasion. Otherwise he could have been spinning to try and double Hume's advantage. Shoving on for Vaz, went down the line for Ferreira. Cicek watched him all the way and watched it trickle out. Black Army just making themselves more and more compact and more difficult to break down. Pascoe Vale so far unable to do so.
Yanni Pira nearly fighting Cicek, and now Lucas Vaz at the other end, sitting down Nej Sahin. Body's hitting the canvas as Cicek goes on a journey. Sahin has his back to goal. Twisting and turning was Nej Sahin. He was down only seconds ago, went coast to coast. Was there as an attacking option for the Black Army.
It was nearly a delightful break for Hume. Cicek's cut back to Sahin is superb. So many times you see it gets played behind him. This one weighted perfectly into his path and with enough pace so that it couldn't be picked off. And that's just the difference between these two sides at the moment. Hume have been more fine-tuned in their attacking play. Pascoe Vale, you get the feeling, are still yet to get out of first gear and apply some real pace to their combinations.
Lucas Vaz on. A lot of the ball, Robocop tonight, he really has. I feel like that'll be his last involvements for now. As Caro will take his place. Chichik, bouncing ball, Caro. Lima. Caro, on. Ferrer. Lima, bit of a heavy touch, Caro. And now Ferrer had to go, but Turkmen, brilliant challenge.
Terrific, absolutely terrific from Imran Turkmen. Gets it a fraction higher or lower or wrong, and he's probably in the book for a Pascovel free kick. Caro's clip was a good one, and then he wears one. Ooh. Caro on the second effort forces Kirkby to concede a corner.
You got a feel for Turkmen. He wore that well and truly in the midsection. Caro keeps going as Hamza Suede just takes Turkmen's place. He's got some air sucking through his lungs. And it's purchased with a laugh. Nothing funny about that though. Turkmen seeing the funny side to the situation.
Caro flashed the corner across. A while at the other end, wins a corner for Hume. Just like that, one set play becomes another. Imran Turkmen taking a second. Perhaps got one right where you don't want to. Suede from the corner. Deflects out to Kulchoglu, and Caro had to be there to make the block. Hume making Pascoe Vale hang on at the moment. Approaching 5 minutes to half time in the evening's final encounter. Suede flashed across by Temel, and Abdullah went on his own. Kirkby well placed to take the sting out of it and then pick it up. Temel showed a lot of it to Arn, and Kulchoglu made the challenge just to cut out any attack.
And Abdullah just getting Kirkby familiarised with his antics. Genuine attempt on goal considering had reached his counterpart shot stopper. And in the end, Ethan, it was well managed by the man in red.
Mazen Abdullah, no stranger to a spectacular effort.
As Caro finds Chavinard. 4 minutes and 54 seconds left in this last first half of round 7. The Lions desperate to get this one on level terms. It will falter back towards Abdullah. He's taken a few touches forward. Ferrer. Twisting Farhan. Takes his shot on it. Was blocked by Awal, but it will be a corner.
It's what Hume have done so well in this first half. They've always had the bodies behind the ball, but it's been the way they've been able to crowd out the area in and around the goal to make life really difficult for Pascoe to get clear shots off.
And across the face of goal, Lima acknowledges the idea. The ball just going behind him.
A lot of ideas and nearly moments for Pascoe in this first half. It's been a very cagey affair, and the one clear-cut chance is the one which currently separates these two sides.
Hamza Suede, tucked inside his defensive half. Abdullah, using the full length of his attacking arc. His goalkeeper arc, rather. Inside the D, claims the ball, gets it moving. Lima, Ferrer, trying to brush aside Suede. Caro, on. Caro, Lima. Went through the gates of Temel. Suede, not overly short. Kawuglu had to clean it up. Keeper's ball it will be, but it was all getting conducive for the Lions in that scenario.
Hume nearly made a hash of it defensively for the first time tonight, and you can see Ferreira's effort and Ferreira's press was immediately acknowledged by Maurizio Novak because he was just not willing to give up on that ball, and it's that kind of energy that Pascoe need more of an injection of. Abdallah on for Kevin Lamb, back for Lima. Abdallah stayed a long way out of goal. Lima, it's taking time for him to retreat. Lamb, oh, it's a lovely ball, and Lima just couldn't quite apply a touch, and Kirkby was able to claim it. Kulchoglu pressed by Arn, and then Kulchoglu dived in and gave away a free kick.
Oh, Lima made the most of that situation. Kawuglu, the ball was getting away from him. Lions need something. Haven't really had many attempts on goal in this game so far. Their previous, dare I say, that of the Mad Cats.
Chances few and far between for Pascoe Vale. Caro has an opportunity from the free kick. Abdallah is lurking right on the halfway line. Lima back stick. Lamb on in the area. Caro does find its way back for Abdallah. It was within range and took too long, and Kulchuglu as a result got the slide in. Another opportunity from a set play goes to waste for the Lions. Lamb for Lima. They land themselves a leveller before half-time in a frustrating first half for Pascoe Vale. Lamb's loft and Temel took no chances. Alison Lima. Caro was just peeling, as was Lamb, who wants to go with Sahin. Lamb skipped beyond him, and Temel tracked him all the way to make the block.
It's well done from Kevin Lamb. They need more moments of excitement. To Pascoe Vale. Have a lot of that with the man holding the ball right now, but they just need to get some sparks about them. It's Cardle's effort. Was caught sweetly, but kept lofting.
Kirkby happy to watch that sail over in the first half, where up until now he's been rather untroubled. Made one or two terrific stops, but outside of that, hasn't had a plethora of work to do, and Hume want timeout. And now they will get it. Inside the final 3 minutes to half-time, the Black Army now use it to try and stretch their legs before the break. As we go to a timeout, it's Hume 1, Pascoe Vale 0.
We're the Champ Hunters Div 1 Tuesdays. We should not be in Div 1, but nevertheless, we lost 8-3 today, but we're missing Alex Beckers. Send him hate. If you know who he is, please send him hate, and that's it.
Well, that's exactly right, James. Going on with that. Our gaffer, we've had a gaffer, for the whole team, and then he hasn't rocked up. Last 2 weeks, Lucas Smarrow, you know who you are. You better sleep with one eye open tonight, because we're coming for you, mate. You better sleep with one eye open, Lucas Smarrow. You know who you are.
Closing few minutes to half-time as we return from timeout. Hume 1 up against Pascoe Vale, and with an opportunity to make it 2. Fernando Dimarias vocal on the touchline. Clanaris clipping, squeezed it through to Sahin. Right, Temel down the line. Caro came to meet him. Ooh. Sahin smashed it into Arn. Lima might be able to go the other way. Alison Lima from range flashed his effort over the bar.
Lima, again, just perhaps in frustration, really trying to make something click. For the Mighty Lions have really struggled out there to get genuine attempts on goal towards Kirkby as Lamb, the cut back. Kirkby will settle for a corner.
Tidily sprawled again from Kirkby, who's just had a couple moments of action towards the end of this first half. Pascoe Vale now know that time is of the essence to land a leveller.
Card up. Inboards towards Arn. Hume really making things difficult. Pascoe Vale can't seem to move the ball with any fluidity. Arn. Lima. Card up, peeling out wide. Ned Sahin has not blinked at all. As Lima, his touch will let him down. He'll try rectify. And Mo Temel, in a company with Ned Saheen, have really, Ethan, made this so difficult for the Lions to try and infiltrate in any way possible.
Their defensive effort and organisation has been superb, and it's been a real credit for Hume to have those leaders step up. As Pasco Vale have a corner, taken out to Arn. Abdallah went from range. And that might be a microcosm of their opening period. A couple of ideas that have been there, but overall, it's been one of frustration. And without as much end product as perhaps Maurizio Novak would have desired of his side so far. They still have 96 seconds to change it. Get themselves level before half-time. Alison Lima. Andre Caro on the switch. Down the line for Lamb, who was waiting on the runners, but Saheen, as he always has been in the first half, is there to intervene.
Last 90 seconds. In this first half, Caro flicking. Lamb, Lima. Shot blocked by Clanaris. Bit of a wince, really, for Alison Lima to almost illustrate the point of not sure what else we can try to. The Madcap, Mazen Abdallah. Chipping, Clanaris might go over the top. It takes a touch on the red nailing. And despite the railing in the roof getting in the way, it was goal bound, mind you. It's come off completely as it dangles in the sky. But how do we determine what's happened here?
Well, the roof railing has its moment of controversy for the evening. Clanaris' shot, without its aid, may have been heading in. Possibly, it was dipping. It was on target for sure. Height would have been the only question, and it is a huge let-off for Pasco Vale. Railing or not, it's one instead of two, and they still have time to land the leveller from a situation where they could have been a double down. So the final minutes of the break. Kevin Lamb tried to thread it, Clanaris in the way. Turkman touched it on for Temel, who tried to go around Caro. Lamb helped him out. Andre Caro then touched it on. Lamb on for Arn. Pasco Vale getting some room to roam in. On went the drive, and Clanaris came across to make the block.
Dare I say, that was goal bound from Clanaris. It really looked like it was heading towards the vacant sticks. Still made its way there, and the railing has still not stopped moving.
On for Abdallah. Back with Chavanard once more. Pasco Vale probing. Abdallah steered it over once more.
Getting very desperate, Pasco Vale. Sure, Maurizio Novak will look to change the chessboard at half-time, considering he hasn't really been able to withstand this really fluent Hume defensive shape.
Clanaris gave it a hit into the palms of Abdallah, and that will be that. Hume, thanks to Ubade Cicek, accepted a gift, and at half-time, for the final time in the round, they lead Pasco Vale by a goal to nil.
I brought the boys over, and we're all former NPL players. If State League want to sign us, yeah, no, we thought we'd take our talents to Futsal, and
Well, that's exactly right.
it's absolutely fantastic. And the place is an institution, so we thought we might as well. And that's that.
That's exactly right, James. That's it. It's not hard, it's just that we're struggling to find our feet. I think the lack of fitness is really affecting our team. Joining halfway through the season wasn't most ideal, but you know what? We've come across a couple wins, and we're doing decent within the team. You know, there's a lot of politics within the team and problems here and there. When when you got families paying $7, $8, $9 grand, it's not on. But yeah, well, that's exactly right.
Well, the Social League Div 1, we thought this would be all right, but it's a much higher standard than we thought, and we're not quite equipped for it, but we're working on that.
Yeah, we definitely are.
Yeah, we're working on it. We're improving the arsenal, and we'll get there. We'll get there day by day. We'll adjust.
Unfinished business.
It's 2 words. Disappointment. But there's room for improvement, and that's it, man. That's it.
Well, that's exactly right. That's exactly right.
Signing off.
Signing off, James Daniel, starting captain, strikers.
And send hate to Alex Beckers and Lucas Mara.
We turn for home on round 7. Hume with a 1-goal lead. A bit of controversy right at the end of the first half where Clenaris had struck well and true for goal. The net railing getting in the way. The goal not standing. It's still shaking. As Chichik gets the ball rolling for the Black Army. They have a 1-goal lead. Could have been 2. Pascoe Vale really finding life difficult on court at the moment in generating a scoring opportunity. Out of a gleaming one. Things have been coming from real downtown. Abdellah's had a couple of attempts on goal. Ferrer's effort hit the post early following the opener from the Black Army. Since then, it's been difficult as Cardo. Lovely ball for Vaz! It only took one moment for Robocop to fire true. And as much as they found it difficult in the first half, within seconds of the second, Lucas Vaz and Andre Caro combine, and this game's on level terms.
Where they were frustrated for the entire first half, it took them half a second half minute to get themselves level. It's a cracking ball from Andre Caro. The weight is terrific, which is what was lacking in the first half, as well as the creativity. And Vaz kept his cool, smashed it beyond Kirkby, and we are back right where we started.
Almost unfazed was Lucas Vaz. He knows those situations like the back of his hand. And once he was strolling away, nothing Kirkby could have done to keep it out. A very quick start from Pascoe Vale. Vaz. Farran, it could be a quick fire double. That's a great save from Kirkby. Arm was right in front of him, Ethan, and the keeper reacted as quickly as he could.
Brilliant stop. Made himself big, tried to close the angle as much as he could for Arn, who just didn't quite catch it as sweetly as he would have liked, where he maybe wanted to open his body more to place it for the far corner. Got quite closed up because Kirkby came out and rushed the shot a little bit, but even then, it's great goalkeeping.
Al Heck for Lucas Vaz. Stepping onto his left. Lucas Vaz! He's starting to feel it. Robocop really starting to get immersed in this one. Thought he had a corner. Kirkby was diving. Was struck with such power. As the number 9 shifted onto his left. It's been a really, really slow start for Hume in the opening minute or so. It looked like they weren't really putting a foot wrong in the first half. They've started on the wrong foot in the second. Al Hayek. Caro. And it was Vaz and Temmel off the ball. And here is Lucas Vaz. Skipping around onto his right. Temmel with a fine block. He wanted Kirkby to come claim it, did his captain. Now Clanaris. Ricochets down the line. Arn, first to it. Vaz flicking. Al Hayek off the volley. It rose and kept rising.
Just didn't get over it, El Hayek. It's exactly what Vaz wanted with that little flick up. It's one of those where it says, go on, hit it first time and try and give Kirkby something to think about. But Pascoe Vale, starting the second half the same vein they did in the first. They wanted to start fast and create a lot of opportunities. They've been able to take one this time round. That's the difference. And Hume just look like they've slowed down a touch to begin the second period. And at the moment, Pascoe Vale, it looks like, have figured it out.
Caro flicking, Arn controlling. Al Hayek. Caro, Vaz. Trying to skip around Cicek. Sliding was Temmel. Gets back up on his feet. Comes together with the doctor. And Temmel, I believe, will go into the book.
Perhaps 50% for the tackle, 50% for what was said in response to the whistle.
There was a firm talking to from the official to Mo Temmel. Basically saying, you talk again, you're going to see red. Vaz crossed the face. Arm was the recipient. Now Cicek, 2 against 2. Al Hayek had best position. Recycled with Mo Temmel. Cardle, great read. Gets there first, the doctor. Swayed. Al Hayek comes across to intervene. Vaz. It's well done from Abdallah to peel off. Chip ball for Cardle. That's really well handled by the Lions, and they've got possession back with the doctor. Lots of composure on display from the Mad Cat, who peeled out Ethan to make himself available to give his side possession once more.
Terrific from all of them, from Arn's quick footwork as well to start the move down the line. Just the clip to find Caro, ever so cool, ever so well weighted, did not give Hume a chance of a press. And Mazen Abdallah, that's what he offers when he peels away. So good with his feet that he's able to give you that fifth man in evading the press and also in building up.
Vaz. Chipping, not finding nobody. Expected a cagey affair between these two. Right now it's living up to the billing, which might have been predicted. Temmel. Cicek coming across. Ethan, as it ticks away, who does this contest really favour more? It's hard to decipher at the minute.
At the moment, Pascoe Vale might be slightly edging it just because of the way that they've started the second half. It's been with much more purpose and much more precision than the first, whereas Hume look a little bit exhausted right now and they need to freshen up the legs.
Lucas Vaz. It's had a lot of the ball tonight. Can't keep saying that enough. The number 9's really getting involved. It's a great ball from Al Hayek. And Arn tried to go the opposite direction to where Kirkby was diving towards. Well crafted, the through pass from Al Hayek.
It's a brilliant ball. And Arn does the right thing in going back across from where Kirkby's came. His momentum is already decided in the slide. He can't readjust in time. Arn's unlucky, but Lamb has picked Temmel's pocket. And all of a sudden, Pascoe Vale with 2 golden opportunities to go in front.
And Lamb's done it yet again. He goes around his direct opponent of Shavin Arn. Just couldn't provide the finish which it desired.
Perhaps he should have pulled the trigger on that occasion, Lamb. He worked the angle for himself wonderfully. Caro's run was always more of a rebounding run than a go on and give it to me run. And Kevin Lamb perhaps could have taken the shot on, and who knows, it could have ricocheted, but here he is again.
Oh. Lima somehow making a contest. The ball not really in possession of anybody. And Lamb got the final touch, which was a shot towards Kirkby, who conceded the corner.
That's a good save from Kirkby. The sting's taken out of it, by a little bit of a touch and a bit of a bobble, and he's just able to readjust and push it wide in time. Pascoe Vale really knocking on the door. Hayek wasn't far away either. Hume starting perhaps to feel the pressure. The Lions circling. And the Black Army, who had made so much gained ground in the first half, now having to dig in perhaps and try and battle it out. That's a lovely touch from Cicek to find Pira once more. But Abdallah came across and gave Al Hayek a hand to see it out. Here is Al Hayek once more, who's certainly had a tidy night. Caro. Oh, glorious. On for Al Hayek, who's crashed it into the side netting.
You can really sense in this second half the understanding between Al Hayek and Cardo's just shining a lot brighter as it might have in the first. As Yanni Pira and Cicek are doing much of the same at the other end. But they weren't testing Abdallah that time around. As the game continues, Al Hayek and Cardo just getting well and truly more on the same page. Kevin Lamb, Kirkby comes a long way. Sahin nearly inadvertently into his own net. Goes out for a corner. Lamb, deep for Cardo. Al Hayek, far to the fake if you will. Advantage played, Al Hayek. Now Cicek, 3 against 1 here for the Black Army. Turkmen, perhaps Ethan, a wasted chance.
The ball to the back post is just far too overhit. The rolling foul as well for Hume. When they caught Pascoe Vale on the break, they went down the side with all the players around it. Instead of trying to open the court up and really stretch the Pascoe Vale defence, it made it easy for them to close it out. As Lamb has laced it for Lima, and Kuradate couldn't turn it in. A beauty of a ball from Kevin Lamb. Maurizio Novak looks to the heavens, and it might have been divine intervention that kept that out. My word, what an opportunity.
Loving the hair choice from Kuradate. Sorry there, Ethan. A player of such flashy quality, has it personified in the peroxide. He was certainly well and truly in the mix there.
Had it just lofted over him. Outrageously close as Pira tiptoes, dances, forces Abdallah out to Turkmen, who smashed it over. It was a good look. Ricocheted out to him from Abdallah's save, but he just didn't get under it and went for too much power. Lamb again wanted just to take it into Kuradate's path, but on this occasion wasn't able to, and Kirkby wants calm.
Find some solace with Sahin. He's done really well to pick out Turkmen. Kawuglu. Al Hayek. Getting crafty. Of course, former Avondale FC player. Now applies his trade on the outdoor circuit with the Essendon Royals. Abdallah claiming the looping effort from Kawuglu. Goes over the top and out of play towards Kevin Lamb's jurisdiction. Only Pira had moments of magic. He's come off the cork. Linares re-enters. 13 minutes and 10 seconds left on the clock. DCSS coming to a bit of a standstill. This one, well and truly even. Goals a premium. Linares, pedestrian, and Kevin Lamb not around Kirkby, who has to go. Used all 4 seconds, but a very brave bit of goalkeeping from the man in red.
Outstanding goalkeeping from Kirkby to come out and close the angle. He took the risk in thinking Lamb would go round him and then sprawled himself. He's a tall man, and he used every single inch of himself to claim that from Kevin Lamb. It's a brilliant piece of keeping to deny Lamb what would have been an almost certain goal, and it keeps Hume in it at the moment. As they look for Lamb again, Lima took over. Linares on the block. Lima won it back. Lamb onto El Hayek. Switched it for Lima. Lamb wanting to work a yard. Linares giving him some attention, and Lima had the opportunity and this time flashed over.
There's usually nights where Alison Lima is feeling it. He's on song, what he's doing. He's turning to goals, but so far tonight, Ethan, he's just at the minute not showcasing his best decision making when it comes to getting shots away. It's very clinical for Pascoe Vale at the back end of last season, and of course the back end of the 2024 second season, but he's just not been able tonight to really showcase some of his best finishing.
He's been unlucky at times as well. Had a lot of looks, Lima. He's looked to blaze away. It's been a real theme of Pascoval in front of goal. They've either tried to overcomplicate it or add too much power. They need the precision and the coolness that Vaz provided. And often at times, they will come to find if they keep it simple, they might have more success, and they certainly will be troubling Kirkby more.
Kuritate, read it best. Turkman slid. Corner the mighty Lions.
And it's a tidy challenge from Turkman in retreat. It's a good slide to get a touch on it. Kuritate wanted to drill it low. Kirkby would have had it covered. What can they work from the corner?
Now Hayek rifling the ball. But to no real avail. Spritzer Novak picks out Kirkby with an inch perfect pass. Still has it, perhaps Maurizio. Kuritate ricochets towards him. Calvary gets back in time for Hume and Lima. Holding it up. Lamb. Al Hayek. Lima. Stepping inside. Hume back in numbers. Lovely ball from Al Hayek. Lima upon the first time denied by Kirkby. The second from Lamb. Denied again from the man with the moustache. And he's loving it, Ethan.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant from Kirkby. Two colossal saves. The second from Lamb was supreme as Al Hayek flashes wide. Terrific goalkeeping from the man from WA. That second save delightful. Just the speed on the recovery to then go and react straight away. Ooh. Supreme keeping as Caro takes a tumble. And it's hit the railing.
Hamza Swade coming across to Andre Caro, all amicable. Just two combatants wanting to win the ball in dispute. Caro in possession. Kirkby, Ethan, so far tonight. He's had a very decent game. He's been really hyped and excited to apply his trade in SFE competition. It's taken until the 10th month of the year for him to get back here. That is, of course, in Victoria. Looks good out there right now.
A promise is a promise. And we are delighted to have him back. And he's looking superb at the moment as Al Hayek tried to give him some more action to work with. Made a few massive saves.
It's got to be said, though, ever since we've migrated from the shoebox, as many of our interstate friends like to call it, on the big court here, we've had so many of the likes of, well, those from Perth, from New South Wales, from Queensland, not to mention, of course, from Thailand, all just venture back to Victoria and give it a crack here in SFV. Al Hayek, haven't seen him in some time. He's on court again. Of course, it's time for Pascoval, but another player making a return tonight. Also looking like he's getting rid of the court rust well as Swade wasn't goal side. He concedes the foul.
And Al Hayek's looked lively as well. Even when he was shaking off a bit of the court rust, you could see the energy and the fact that he was just bursting to get at players. He wants to take Pascoval forward and he wants to take this game on. And at the moment, he's creating a lot of good opportunities. And he's won Andre Caro a free kick. Kirkby's claiming he might pass it off, and he does for Al Hayek, and Kirkby comes across again to make another fantastic save down low. Super stop to deny Al Hayek, who had a yard for himself. Lima quickly on for Al Hayek again. Wants to go at Clanaris, whose challenge was a good one. Cicek streaming forward. Clanaris went early, but couldn't catch out Abdallah. Rolled it for Caro. Lima. Kuritate. Swade hot on the press. Al Hayek.
Oh!
Not away from Cicek, who picked his pocket, rolled it under and in. And just like that, Hume have their lead back. Brilliantly done from Cicek, who's at the double. And Pascoval had their pockets picked for the second time. Cicek accepts a brace of gifts.
Well, great forward pressure from UC7. The celebration might just let him down. If it's not number 6, it will be number 7. That's what Chichik had to say. And he's found his brace, and Hume are back in front.
And Chichik did terrifically to get Hume back ahead. Caro in for Kuradate. Pasco Vale now need to search for some answers. Lima. El Hayek. Switched it for Kuradate, who wants to go at Suede. Lima dropped off for him. Kuradate's won a corner. An evening of taking the chances. Hume have done that. Their only real look in this second half, and it's Ubade Chichek who rolls it under Abdallah and in to reinstate the lead. On and Vaz back on. Maurizio Novak shuffles the pack once more.
It's great seeing Chichek back with some confidence. Back firing truly. Playing with passion, playing with pride. In recent weeks, I'm sure, was really confined to only defensive duties for the Black Army, but in the pivot tonight has really shone nicely.
Lima's corner was an awkward one for Vaz. Cleared away well. Andre Caro on Ferran. Wants to go with Sahin. Vaz just peeling away from Temel. Caro. Lima. Again looking to work a yard. Andre Caro ever so calm. Delightful ball for Lima, and Kirkby again is the one in the way. Makes another good save.
It's not helping Pascoval that Hume's goalkeeper right now is really playing with some level of confidence. And Kirkby was from the opening save he made, Ethan. The war cry he let out set the tone since. Sahin not away from Arn. Lima goes all the way back to Vaz. It's back on court. Then a stumble from Robocop. Sahin charging. Chichek was just floating, Ethan, on broadcast side, but it's never found by his long-time teammate of Sahin.
Just perhaps a touch behind him. Chichek held that space. That's a lovely ball from Abdallah. They went route one, and Lima nearly, ever so nearly, troubled Kirkby again.
It was uninvited. Elson Lima inside out of the D, and there was no communication, I'm sure, between Kirkby and Temel. It's at least what their body language following the move had almost displayed, Ethan. Caro, Lima. Chavanon. What can the doctor try and do? Vaz. On to his left. Wants to shoot Lucas Vaz. He's had that ominous threat about him tonight. Kirkby saw it all the way. Temel. Clanaris, a nice ball to find the number 5. Vaz and Clanaris come together. Pascoval, sure, will enjoy having a free kick.
And Ubade Chichek just showcase the wetness of the floor, perhaps taking some time out of the game just to allow Hume to regain their shape. Caro's free kick quickly on for Lucas Vaz, who has looked the most likely for Pascoval this evening. Alison Lima on. Vaz, oh lovely. Lima got in behind. Clanaris did well to hold him up. Ooh. Lima wanting to spin. Clanaris dangled a leg. Kept it alive and then had to concede.
Wow, there was nearly a bit of a moment. Clanaris just tangoing with Lima on the edge. Or really on the paint of the D. Both men held their feet, but no situations, Ethan. Fine margins. Grey areas too.
Vaz on for Caro. Tidy return, and the clip from Lucas Vaz, the right idea, but just a fraction too heavy.
Ample time for anything to really happen. Of course, on the first occasion where Pascoval locked horns with Hume in the first season of this year, it was 3-2 in favour of the mighty Lions, and Vaz was on song that night. He protests, you've got to give the foul there. He had two black shirts just trying to bundle him over, really. In the end, Pascoval, all they can get is a side ball. Carter threads it. Vaz. On. Came in. Vaz closed the opportunity for a Hume clearance. Andre Caro.
What a save. What a save from Kirkby. Sprung himself across. That was dipping devilishly from Andre Caro, who caught it well on the poke. They worked it well, Pascoval. And have yet another corner.
Lima falls for Vaz. Lima still out wide following the... He's taking off the corner. Arn shifts onto his right. Vaz. Temel cuts it off. They're getting more and more frustrated on the Lions, and their frustrations haven't really been extinguished yet.
And Lucas Vaz perhaps also still annoyed at nearly being scythed down by a pair of Hume shirts. Just letting his frustrations be known. Pascoval can ill afford to lose their heads here. They're still in this game with ample time to turn it around. Whoever keeps their cool from here, Adam, is most likely going to pick up 3 points.
Still plenty of time, though, for anything to really transpire. But when Hume look in control, they look really hard to break down. It's a lapse in concentration, which allowed Pascoval back in the game. They've just had one there, the Black Army. Vaz. Arn. Cardo. Temel cutting out yet again. And Mauricio Novak was just protesting for Alison Lima, considering that's what's been handed in. Timeout for Pascoval. They trail by a goal. Hume in front, courtesy of a Uberi Chit-Check brace, as we cross to a timeout break.
We're the Chip Hunters Div 1 Tuesdays. We should not be in Div 1, but nevertheless, we lost 8-3 today, but we're missing Alex Beckers. Send him hate. If you know who he is, please send him hate, and that's it.
Well, that's exactly right, James. Going on with that. Our gaffer, we've had a gaffer, for the whole team, and then he hasn't rocked up. Last 2 weeks, Lucas Smarra, you know who you are. You better sleep with one eye open tonight because we're coming for you, mate. You better sleep with one eye open, Lucas Smarra. You know who you are.
I brought the boys over, and we're all former NPL players. If State League want to sign us, we thought we'd take our talents to futsalers, and
Well, that's exactly right.
it's absolutely fantastic. And the place is an institution.
We return from timeout. Pascoval chasing with a side ball, and Kevin Lamb is fifth man. Immediately found by Andre Caro. The dice has been rolled by Maurizio Novak in the timeout team talk. Hume 2-1 up, and 6 minutes away from a season-defining victory perhaps already. Lamb, it's behind Caro, and they have to concede ground. Caro kept it alive, had to go long as Lamb couldn't touch it. And Sahin's return wasn't able to pick out Temel. They got away with one again, the Lions.
And while their intent is clear, I don't really mind rolling the dice further, but Mazen Abdallah awaits on the touchline. Kevin Lamb with the fly kit on. Bounces off Lima. Lamb goes for a jog and back onto the bench. Must be said, though, for tonight, Kevin Lamb has looked energetic, but hasn't really been too decisive with his decision-making. Hasn't exactly had that prowess and clinical nature he's also known for. Is it a credit to Hume, or is it perhaps the Lions just misfiring? That will decipher again, but the net railing has got in the way again, and Abdullah's incensed. What else we can do? A Macedonian man once said back in the day. We'll say it again now. What else we can do with the net railing?
Faz went through the legs of Sahin. Got it back from Kirkby. Turkman. Perhaps some Mediterranean words of wisdom from Adam Palombi. Temel. Vaz in retreat. Sahin got in ahead of him and only found the palms of Abdallah. Onto Ferreira, who's hardly had a look in the second half. Rolled it back for Vaz so they can get Kevin Lamb reinstated as quickly as possible.
More the Balkans there though, Ethan.
For Andre Caro. Let's not have any geographical mix-ups. Lamb. Back for Caro once more. On for Ferreira. Caro. Tried to thread it for Vaz, but it was too fine a margin.
Good Novak trying to get more vocal. Rally the troops on court. It's been a very well organised, consistent display from Hume tonight. Something they've really lacked all season. How important is Mo Temel has really become the talking point and will be truly in the midweek if they are to hold on. Caro. Look how wide Pasco Vella having to go. Can barely keep the ball in play.
This is what Hume have done so well this evening. Defensively, by limiting that space inside, they forced Pasco Vella to go round the outside, and you can tell it's something the Maurizio Novak side have not been necessarily comfortable with because it closes the options and it allows the press to be easier to be triggered. The second the ball goes wide, you see two Black Army shirts. One descends on the ball carrier, the other descends on the easiest pass back option. And that's how they've suffocated Pasco Vale so well this evening. They forced them wide and then really squeezed them in.
Ferreira and Caro coming together. Vaz. Look how almost... It's hard to even just peek out at the moment, Ethan, considering that the Lions are really finding things just stupidly hard. Vaz is going lateral chips to try to pick out a teammate. That doesn't happen often. A while. Lovely footwork from the big fella. Temel Sahin. He's in striking distance and had time to let fly. Well, Sahin in no rush to take the corner. 3.5 roughly left. Hawal, Sahin on the side foot. Cardo finds Lucas Vaz nicely. And Robocop fires a deflection. Made it uncomfortable for Kirkby, who still managed to save. Ferrer settles for a corner. Yet again, it's great goalkeeping from the man from WA. Vaz. And Temel had sight for goal. He was cut off by Kevin Lamb in the fly. Lima over the crossbar.
That once again is such a microcosm of Pasco Vale's evening. The ball to Ferreira, a fraction heavy, denies them a leveller. They've still got time to change it. Final 3 minutes. Pasco Vale in search of a goal that would give them at least a level playing field for the time being. You suggest as well, even if they get that equaliser, they'd stay fifth. This is not a side who have been coached to play for a draw. They will keep Kevin Lamb in the fly and try and win it. As Vaz, that ball was too vicious for Andre Caro.
Well, Lucas Vaz playing in the fixo tonight, really. It's a lot to do when he's been there. He was in the pivot briefly. That's where he scored, but Maurizio Novak backing in the number 9 to play in a deeper role. Took no chances there, Vaz, and Hume have a side ball inside their attacking half. Turkman told to go by the official. Count got to 3. Back to Temel. Lima heavy on the press. Turkman. 2.5 left. Temel, Saheen, nearly with the flick on for a while. Abdallah, Carter. Lamb back on. Ferrer. It's worth mentioning, Ethan, we haven't seen Al Hayek on court in some time. Now would surely be the moment to reinstate him. Ferrer and Vaz trading possession. Hume going from left to right. Turkman will clear. Vaz won't want it, see it out of play. Ferrer. Temel. Been well and truly Hume's main man tonight.
They're just getting all the right touches at all the right times, Hume, to close out what Pascoe Vale are trying to do. It doesn't have to be pretty at this point in time. It just has to be efficient with under 2 minutes to go. And you mentioned El Hayek. He's coming on for a burst for the final two. Ferreira will make way. This is the kitchen sink being thrown. This is all or nothing for Pascoe Vale now. Can Hume hang on for another minute and 42?
El Hayek. Can he be the difference maker? Lima, Lamb, Carter! There's the opening Pascoe Vale were desperate to find. And the doctor, as he has time and time throughout his illustrious career, provides an equaliser for the Lions.
And we've said where the width has helped Hume tonight, this is where it has come to hurt them when Pascoe Vale went 5th and were able to stretch the court. Lamb drifted inside, took the runner. It left Caro all on his own at the back post to make a darting run and turn in for an equaliser. And now either of these sides have just under 90 seconds to go on and win it.
And Ethan, your prediction was correct. Lamb still to fly kid on. The goals remaining open for Hume. It's a very fast-paced ball from Vaz, and Lima is too hot to handle for him. Minute and 17 seconds left. 2-2. Cicek is the target down the line, although never came towards him. Lamb back on.
Hume are edging of the technical area. Timeout card in hand.
Kevin Lamb now for Carter. Lima lost his foot in. Kirkby lucky. Temel blocked by Carter. How close were the Lions there from snatching a goal to go in front?
Alison Lima, millimetres away, sorts his feet out, and it's 3-2. Another brilliant move.
Oh, and Vaz just let Cicek breeze past him. Gets his shin pad put back inside his left sock. Does RoboCop. 43 seconds left. Here's a match-winning moment. Vaz. Carter across the face. And it's Lima again.
It's another look, and it's a golden look for Alison Lima and Pascoe Vale. 35 seconds for either of these sides to carve out another opportunity. Lima might rue that miss. It's a huge chance at the back post. He was found brilliantly by Caro, who got some pace on the ball.
Flanaris nearly had it from the aerial ball. Last 23 seconds. Who takes the 3 points? Vaz. Went for the back post. Temel. He could go all for broke. And upon his return, nearly won the game. 10 seconds left. El Hayek's the deepest. Wheels around Suede. Gets his shot away. And Lamb will remain in between the sticks. Abdallah had the change. Although it all comes to its conclusion. These sides could not be separated after 40 minutes of stop clock futsal. And it ends Hume FC 2, Pascoe Vale 2. Ethan Rigg, before we sign off, it could have gone either way, and Mo Temel at the end nearly had it all wrapped up.
both teams had chances in the final 2 minutes to win the game. Lima with a couple of golden looks, and Temmel nearly had the spectacular come off for him. However, for Hume, this is a huge step in the right direction. The Di Moraes era has certainly made its mark, although it wasn't with 3 points tonight. And for Pascoe Vale, it was a show of character. They created a lot and weren't able to take their opportunities until the time counted, and Andre Caro rescued a point.
And that will be that for round 7 of Season 2 in 2025. 2 draws. The only win tonight coming from Thornbury in the opening clash. But until next week, I've been Adam Palombi. We appreciate you joining us for men's SFV, the championship on Sunday, as well as the women's. Until then, we'll see you.
So we thought we might as well. And that's that.
That's exactly right, James. That's it. It's not hard, it's just that we're struggling to find our feet. I think the lack of fitness is really affecting our team. Joining halfway through the season